know, they think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Oh man, it's an honor and a privilege, man, to always be able to speak this boxing talk, man. It's a honor and a privilege to be in the land of the living, man. I heard some news about D'Angelo, man. I heard that earlier today. I was getting ready. I got off work, man. I hopped in the shower. My lady was like, "You heard about D'Angelo?"
Yeah, that D'Angelo situation is tragic.
You're my lady. Yeah.
Yeah, part of your volume just went out.
Check, Mike.
Yeah, you're good right now.
But what I was saying is, borrow time, and that's why we gotta live life to the fullest. That's why we gotta we can't be beefing and Cookie Monster, Bodywork, salute Cookie Monster. We gotta let bygones be bygones, man. We gotta live. We gotta try to be positive. And keep everything on the up and up, because tomorrow's not promised, man. And any day, any minute, any second, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be over, I think I got my wake-up call in life back around 2005, because 18 months before that, my uncle, who was like my father, he passed. And then in 2005, my mom passed. She was 42. I was getting ready to be 25. And later on that year, like, that happened in March. And then October, my one and only cousin, who was like my brother, he passed. So I was just like, I got my wake-up. I'm saying, and I was like, hold on, man, life's short, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it kind of got my mind right. Near the kind of person I used to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I value life, I look at it optimistically, and I always strive to be positive. you know. But nevertheless, man, hopefully, Cookie Monster, your sound was going in and out, but great now. Okay, cool. All right, well, and I want to talk about some things. Or that first. Hello there, I can see you. This man Bakhram Murtazaliev, man. This guy is a certified boogeyman. It's like, I don't know how, and people say, oh man, you going extra, you being extra with this. And I'm like, nope, you're not gonna gaslight me. See, I understand what gaslighting is. I understand. And for those who don't know, I always go over this. The practice of psychologically manipulating someone into questioning their own sanity, memory. Because a lot of people like to play with your memory or powers of reasoning. People try to manipulate my reasoning all the time. They try to play with my memory all the time, especially when it comes down to these boxing talks. But right now in the 154-pound weight division, I know we waiting on Jermell Charlo to come back, who was, the last undisputed guy. And a lot of moving pieces didn't happen. A lot of things done shook out. People that came up in the division, got belts and vacated and left, and jumped up, and other people that unified and then dropped belts, and other people that picked up belts. And I know it's been a lot of moving parts, but for years, the 154-pound division has been very competitive. People are just now starting to talk about it. But if you think about it, and if you look at Jermell Charlo's run, it's always been a competitive division. It wasn't up until he was getting ready to be up against Tim Tszyu, and the Canelo offer was given to Jamal, and Jermell said, hey, I'm going to take his place. And he said, listen, I'm not going to jeopardize anything before this Canelo bag. And he jumped up. When he jumped up, the things popped out like Sonic when you hit one of them spikes, and the rings just bling, and like they all over the place. But it was a man that emerged, right? And we can say that to a certain extent, he was an unknown commodity. I'm going out again.
You're good right now. You're pretty consistent, but right before you got to Murtazaliev, you were going in and out. But you're good right now. You've been consistent.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks, Cookie. Appreciate you, AC. Well, okay, this is the deal. Bakhram might not have been a known commodity, but the way he really came on the scene in the minds of people when they started paying attention was based on what he did to Tim Tszyu. Now, a lot of people were so high on Tim Tszyu that they went to the extent to say that Jermell Charlo was ducking Tim Tszyu, which I beg to differ, because Jermell Charlo is like one of my top 3 fighters, right now. And that wasn't the case. That Canelo fight presented itself. He said, I'm not going to jeopardize nothing to go up there and get that bag. And that's how that happened. So Tim Tszyu's reputation, that was handed down from his father, the kind of style that he had, and his personality whenever they put a mic in front of his face. Because Tim Tszyu, he's charismatic. He talked that talk. He's like he tries to embody that Highlander type stuff. He might have a little too much dog in him. He might have a little Darnell Boone in him to where he takes all offers, which is what we want in our fighters, on that old school throwback. I want to prove, I want to test myself against the best. But when he stepped in there with Bakhram after, going to war, and he had that cut on his head, by that inadvertent elbow to the head by Fundora, Bakhram, pretty much slapped him to sleep. And is one of them things to where he just said, listen, man, I'm gonna go for them cookies. I see them cookies in that jar. And Bakhram was like, you reach, then I'm gonna teach. And he kept making the same mistake. He kept coming in with that hook, and Bakhram was, getting his hook off unencumbered because Tim Tszyu was going, he kept going in the front door, reaching for them cookies, and Bakhram was like, oh, you're gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe fat meat be greasy. Yes. And it was over. You know what I'm saying? And Tim Tszyu couldn't believe what happened. And it was over. So at that point in time, when Bakhram did that, he embodied like, oh shit, he put like 154 and 0, like, who is this guy? Because before then, we knew that he took step aside, right? We knew that he made a lot of money. It was almost like how Stan Giannis was taking that step aside. He was making Stan Giannis was making a little noise. He was definitely more visible than Bakhram was, right? Because he was, I think he speaks excellent English. Imagine Stan Giannis, very funny guy. And he would get the interviews and he would say, listen, I'm still training. And he was a very personable guy. He said his story. So he was more vocal, so people knew. But he was taking step aside money. Bakhram was taking step aside money. And I think Bakhram had made a lot of money taking step aside. So he was like, oh, okay, I'm getting paid. I could train. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying in shape. I'm getting paid as if I was fighting, because nobody was really getting that kind of bread he was getting. He was getting it. He was getting some serious bread for not having fought. So when he bust on the scene and do that, it was almost like, dang, now I'm cooking with gas, because now I got the world on notice. I put the world on notice. I got 154 looking like, you know what I'm saying, it's ripe for the taking. I'm that Russian. I'm looking like Ivan Drago up in this camp, and I'm waiting on some fresh fish. And so after that, everybody kept saying that they would entertain him. And I was one of them people, like I say all the time, I was asking for Sabril Matias, who at the time couldn't get a fight, to move up and fight Boots, because Boots couldn't get a fight and he was under the IBF. I, in the same term, was asking for Boots, who had the IBF, who was hard to get a fight, to move up and take on Bakhram with the IBF, because it was looking like he couldn't get a fight. But I keep that same energy. Since then, we thought, or we speculated, that Erickson Lubin was going to step up to the plate and get a Bakhram Murtazaliev. That didn't happen. And it's interesting because I seen an interview with Lubin, and respect to Lubin. He's one of my guys. I was pulling for him, especially when he was with my man, Coach Kevin Cunningham. He was saying that, listen, he got into negotiations. He pretty much got tired of waiting. He was like, man, listen, I got to move on. I gotta proceed, because I'm ready to get back in the ring, man. I've been a little inactive, and I'm trying to, I'm trying to get it popping. And so that was his justification. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, because we're not in those rooms, right? Then it was noted that Josh Kelly was going to be there, because the IBF had ordered it. And that was like over a month ago. So he was thinking, okay, cool, Josh Kelly, because Josh Kelly's name had popped up, because Josh Kelly's name was lightly attached to, that was one of the ones that was kind of attached to Boots on his moving up, and that was all, that was something that was being tossed up out of there. And we was like, nah, no Josh Kelly. But I'm like, hey, somebody got to fight this guy Bakhram, because the longer time goes on without him getting in the ring, it might be bad for him, but his reputation is only growing based on the fact that it looks like everybody, whether we qualify the reasoning, aka in today's day and time, they call it excuse, right? Whether we justify or qualify the reasoning, it's looking like everybody is finding a way or giving validation as to why they should not fight him. So when it came down to Boots, it was said that he doesn't want to have to deal with the 10-pound rehydration. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Because in a sense, if you're deemed as the next number one, dare I say, pound for pound, it's not as if you're having to do something like an A-side, giving a one-way rehydration, almost like what Devin did with Regis. That a lot of people don't know, where there was a one-way rehydration clause. It's not like that. You're in the IBF. You're moving up. So instead of 147, you had to make 154. And then you can't weigh more than 165 the next day, which is 11 pounds, not 10. And your opponent, guess what? He has to do the same thing. So in the grand scheme of things, I would qualify that as pound for pound behavior. But nobody says nothing about that. And I'm like, it has to be something like, because we don't know, because I'm starting to look at it the same way I was looking at Tim Tszyu when they tried to say my man Jamel had ducked Tim Tszyu, and I had to actually go over and I had to really look and examine, because I knew who Tim Tszyu was, and I watched him, you know, and his fights, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, you know what I'm saying, nothing about him and his style says that my man Mel can't get with him, but let me look at him. And I said, oh, okay, I did a resume x-ray and started really examining him, and started doing the same thing with this guy Bakhram. And I'm like, okay, well, he's really not. It was just the manner in which he did that to Tim Tszyu at the time in which he did it. But he's not really perceived as a knockout guy. He's really not looked at as a knockout guy. It's just, who's this big bad Russian, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, sparked out Tim Tszyu like that. And that's how he got his reputation. And I'm like, why isn't anybody mustering the courage to actually finally get in the ring with this man? And I can't figure out for the life of me. So in my heart of hearts, man, he is embodying the definition of pound for pound, because, you know, if you're part of a fan base and your fighter was on the other end of them crosshairs of a Bakhram, and for whatever reason, fill in the blank that they put down, if you're running with that and you're, you know, allowing that to happen, then that means that it's somebody in the division that your fighter campaigns in which he's making an excuse not to fight. Now, it's very easy when it comes down to certain fighters, especially fighters that we don't like. So this guy is a certified boogeyman, you know, and here recently, when Boots moved up and he took care of Uisma Lima, sparked him, less than 2 minute drill, in and out like a robbery, right? Immediately, Bakhram took to social media and said, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Y'all know Dipset? I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. And I swear we could hear Mouse pissing on cotton right now. I mean, if you're being challenged and touted as the next TBC, and I think you should do this exercise. You should stand in front of the mirror, right, and say, I'm JBE. I'm not TBC. I'm JBE. I'm not TBC. I'm JBE. I'm not TBC, because if you're Roy Jones, if you TBC, like somehow, some way, man, this would not be the case. Like if you would pound for pound, cut from that pound for pound number one, you know, cloth material, there would not be a guy in your division soon as you fight saying, I'm ready, and you don't even give him, now you said his name, but there's been no conversation, there's been no talks, there's been nothing from the peanut gallery, there's been nothing coming out of anybody in that general vicinity, in that zip code, that area code, that state, that city, that has anything to say in response to one Bakhram Murtazaliev. Nobody has said anything. And it puzzles me, man. But I figured out something. As I get off of Bakhram and I go into the other part of this housekeeping, in which I figured out who a certain class of people are. When I did this and I talked about this gentleman the other day, I come to terms with realizing one thing. the majority of the fan base that supports this young man are people that's half of them are from Philly, which is cool. It's just like anybody. It's just like Keyshawn having Norfolk, Tank having Baltimore, Shakur having New Jersey, Earl having Texas, Boots got Philly. That's half, probably a little more than half. I would say about another 30% are people that hate Terrence Bud Crawford. No, you didn't, Mike. Yes, I did. Listen, man, it's starting to become more and more transparent who are driving a lot of these narratives. And surprisingly enough, I think it's time that I say it, man. We gotta stop, man. We gotta stop, man. Like a lot of the people that's getting and it's now down in that flag are people. It didn't take me long.
You going in and out, body?
Huh?
You went in and out.
Again, where stop at?
When you was talking about embody.
Embody?
Yeah.
All right. So the people that really support
you driving?
It's still cutting out?
Yeah.
Yo.
You just said the people who
your
support,
shit cutting out bad, family.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, AC.
What's good, bro?
What's good, bro? Hey, make sure you text me. Go ahead, buddy.
So what I'm figuring out is that a lot of the then, to me, then listening to him.
Yeah, it's cutting out, bro.
Hold on real quick.
Yo, AC.
What's good, man?
Man, that shit that Lubin got knocked out with by Charlo, man, that shit bad, bro. I went back and watched that shit. That shit bad, man.
Yeah. Salute his twin. All right, so I'm gonna try, man. Just keep me just because it's a lot. This is important that I get this on wax, man. And I know YouTube, they're not gonna like this. Like, I guess YouTube don't like what I'm saying right now, but I gotta put it out here, man. Listen, a lot of people that's pushing these narratives, man, like, I couldn't, like, it is kind of funny coming from me, right? But I actually noticed that a lot of people, man, that are pushing this narrative about.
It went out again, bro.
Huh?
You went out again. Yeah, bro, your shit going out again. Check that studio chat, AC.
Yo.
Yo.
All right, so all right, y'all. Just I hope I'm glad everybody bear with me, man. I guess
It's a little technical side, man.
Yeah,
Even the
but
best show have it.
Nah, yeah, you good, champ.
All right.
Keep working, man. Keep giving them that body work.
So let me do this, man, because I gotta get this out, man, because it's really been wrecking my nerves, man. And I'm like, and this is just something I feel like gotta be put down on whack. A lot of people that's pushing this whole boots agenda, right? It's making a lot of people look as though they're not really fans, which they are fans. We all are going to be fans. Some of us that don't fall into the only fan category are always going to get behind our young black brothers and always going to get behind talent that jump off the page. Nobody's saying that the man don't have talent and that he can't be great. That's not what anybody's saying. But what I am saying is that I've noticed that a lot of people that's really pushing these narratives and a lot of people that's getting real offended are people that hate Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, I understand a lot of people didn't agree with all of the moves along the way, and might have had little things and been on the opposite end of moves that was made and things that was said before. But once the man started reaching certain objectives, once he was successful in completing certain tasks, we got to let that shit go. As a boxing community, even if he was on the other side, even if, you wasn't the biggest fan, once he achieved what he achieved with no red tape, there was nothing you could say. Like, once the man really achieved greatness, I keep getting the vibe that some people are just like the Larry Merchant to the Floyd Mayweather. You know how no matter what Floyd Mayweather did, Larry Merchant always had something stupid and dumb to say. And it's like, that's what I feel like is coming down. And the last thing you want to do is build a fan base by default. Right? And I'm going to say, this is what I mean by that. If you look at that chick that Devin was messing with, right? She was messing with, what's his name?
India Love and all them.
Yeah, she was messing with Young Thug. You seen how she was with him, right? And the things that she was saying with him. And then when she could not have him, she fell into the hands of somebody else by default. But you seen where her heart was to begin with. I think a lot of people, man, are like, they're treating Bud like scorn lovers, like he did something to them personally. And some of these people are inheriting people that can't stand Bud by default. So they're kind of jumping ship over there because they can't stand. It's just like when Devin moved out of the division, a lot of people by default jumped onto Keyshawn because they couldn't stand Tank. It's like, no matter what happens, they jump and they're going to be the anti. So whoever can come up and rival a particular guy, by default, they're going to jump on the other side. And it's real funny because a lot of the things, it's like you can't have the same conversation because a lot of the things that people knock Bud for and a lot of people that was critical of him are like things that they are making excuses for when it comes to boots. Like, I'm going to give a couple examples. A lot of people were shitting on Bud when he decided he was going to stay with he was going to stay with Bob, and he did he re-signed and all that. And Bob came on and like he said all the stuff about how much money he lost on him and this and that, right? But they knock him because they said, listen, man, you had a choice. They used to knock Bud and say, you had a choice and you decided to resign. Well, guess what? Boots had a choice. Boots had a choice. Like, he was getting on cars because I recall when he was right up under the big bright lights on a tank car. And that's when we got the first Cannon fight. And he didn't get the knockout. He didn't get the TKO. He didn't do none of that. He was given an opportunity. He was getting plenty of opportunities on that big stage. Why? Because his talent preceded him. Everybody wanted to see him because Boots is must-see TV. He is. As far as moves and stuff like that, I say he's one of the most offensively gifted fighters out here. His punch variety and all that, he's like a video game. I say that all the time. So people want to see him. They want to watch. But he had a choice. Once he signed up with Eddie, and Eddie got him the fights that he got him and the names that he got, right? He had a choice once he completed that contract. And guess what? He decided to re-up. Now, the same people, this is why I say the people that are defaulting over there to Boots because they hate Bud, this is an observation that I've made and I've been making. The same people that knocked Bud for re-upping with Bob are the same people that's ignoring the shit when it come down to him re-signing with Eddie. Eureka! Guess what? They use the same example of Demetrius Andre. Eureka! Well, how did Demetrius Andre mess himself over? He left PBC, went and signed with Eddie. He got the European diet, but guess what they did? In essence, they wound up putting him on the shelf. So who's finding himself in the same predicament that Demetrius Andre found himself in, where he's being accused of wanting a European diet, being subject to whoever Eddie can pay. The same old things that Eddie do, like the same things that he did with AJ and Deontay Wilder. False promises and hope. Low ball offers. The same thing he was doing when he had Devin Haney. Now, it's funny because this same fan base were people that was shitting on Devin Haney because of the things that he was doing by being affiliated with Eddie. And I was one of the people that was saying, damn, y'all. I was like, it must be two Eddies. It's a tale of two Eddies. Why? Because I'm like, it's funny how when it came down to Wilder and AJ, y'all saw all the flaw in Eddie Hearn. But then when Devin got with him, and a certain community was pushing him, they saw no flaw in Eddie Hearn. So it's like, in one breath, if you do a show early in the morning and you talk about Deontay Wilder, by default, they're going to talk about AJ. And by default, people are going to shit on Eddie Hearn. But in the afternoon, if you do a show about Devin Haney, they're going to ignore all the flaw in Eddie Hearn. Even though Eddie Hearn did the same exact thing when it came down to Devin Haney. And people to this day, whenever they switch the conversation over to Devin Haney, they see the flaw in Eddie. But we fast forward now and we talk about Boots, and you see no flaw in Eddie. You see no flaw in the fact that Boots re-signed with Eddie. You see no flaw in the fact that Eddie is still doing that low ball offer shit. Just to say we made an offer. You see no flaw in the fact that Eddie is still serving up a European diet. You see no flaw where there's still always a name attachment. And how? Because in the same breath when Shakur went over there and he signed with Eddie and then went on a campaign to say Tank's name and attach himself to Tank. And this same fan base points this out each and every time we talk about this. How when Shakur went over there to Matchroom, he told Eddie don't even try to make a fight. But in every interview, everything that came out of the zone, it was Tank. Fast forward, we dealing with Boots. He completes his contract. He does get him to a unification, and we applauded him for that. He finally got him with, ironically, a unification with a PBC fighter. But then he moves up. His name was being attached to, and he was part of the slander when it came down to another American boxer by the name of Brian Norman Jr. But the whole attachment here lately has been Boots attaching himself to Bud. You're JBE, not TBC. Two different things. But the same things that this same fan base ridiculed Bud for by saying the resume was flimsy. And I say, listen, I was one of the ones that was saying the same thing. But I also said that Bud is looking more like the exception and not the rule. So now, fast forward, it's like this fan base is now okay with Boots being in that lane of saying, hey, I don't have the marquee names. They even was knocking Bud for saying, oh, so are you saying that he's been weight bullying all of this time? Because they came out and said that he could have been at 168. But they have Boots as one of the biggest, tallest, strongest fighters already at 154. Saying he could easily fight at 160 right now. The man is saying he don't want to fight Bakhram right off the rip without a belt because of the 10-pound rehydration. I'm like, so is this fan base slowly becoming the fan base that they despise? Because Boots has not done anything that Crawford has done yet. And the whole thing is saying, well, listen, because when the same thing that they knock Bud for, they turn around and say, well, look at Bud. He didn't get his. Look, he just now getting his. He's 38 years old. Boots is only 28. So what are you saying? Are you becoming the same fan base that you said you despise? But only because now it's a guy that you think you can get behind, you're going to try to run the same play. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out, and you're already looking like hypocrites. And with somebody that's just as big, the same shit that happened with Devin when he got in there with Ryan, same size, mixed advantages. We seen what happened. It's the same shit's gonna happen. It's the same thing. So I'm petitioning to this whole fan base, man. Knock it off, man. Stop trying to follow this Bud blueprint. It's not gonna work. And stop being hypocrites, because it's crazy. I can't believe the conversations. And I'm also seeing this. This is what I'm also seeing. Nobody is coming out being creative when it comes to doing content on Boots. Nobody is coming out. It's a whole bunch of people that's doing some Captain Obvious shit, or they always doing a reaction to something that somebody else has said. I don't see anybody progressively doing any new content, anything to really promote him, other than using somebody else's name, something that they barbecue other fighters for always name attaching. So now it's okay now. When you despise a whole fan base, a whole nother fan, y'all despise Shakur. We always talk about Shakur, but just always attaching and always having to say Tank's name, and he can't do shit on his own. But the Boots fan base is doing the same damn thing. So I had to point this out, man. And I hate to be Captain Obvious myself, but it's a lot of people that's going to sit up here and gaslight you. And we still got a lot of time on the clock. We still got to see this young man. Listen, if you are part of that fan base, that is JBE. He's not TBC. That's two different things. And I think that y'all are going to do him a disservice. And plus, y'all sound like hypocrites. Y'all sound like hypocrites because you're not calling it like it is, because he is signed with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn has his own bag of tricks that he's well accustomed to doing. There are many examples that we can look at and see where Eddie Hearn has fucked up. He messed over Demetrius. So if you're going to use Demetrius Andre as an example, what happened when Demetrius Andre was with Eddie Hearn? He didn't get Canelo. He didn't get Triple G. Look at what happened with Richardson Hitchens. Richardson Hitchens just now got a title, and look, well, he on the outside looking in. He can't get a unification. Look at what happened when Sabril Matias went over there and signed, and I was skeptical, calling it right down the middle. I was skeptical about him going over there. I said, man, listen, man, don't get yourself in a position where all you're going to do is be defending, and you never get to unify. And guess what happened? He lined him up, got him in there with Liam Paro. As soon as he lost, guess what happened? They parted ways. Sabril Matias had to go back with his people, get built up again, and go get in another line with the WBC. And then look what happened. Soon as he get put in line with Turkey and all that, he get ordered for that Dalton thing. That Dalton Smith fight. He right back in it. So let's not be hypocrites, y'all, because y'all sound, it's a lot of people that's driving this shit, right? There's a lot of people that be plagiarizing. There's a lot of plagiarism going out here. And I have to say this as well. This is another thing, part of the housekeeping, man. Let's not be simps, man. And what do I mean by simps? There's a lot of females that get out here and they be talking boxing, but guess what? A lot of these females, they are not coming up with their own content. They're not coming up with their own talking points. You would not tolerate that when another man is doing it. So why are we tolerating it when women are doing it? Why are we allowing women to use, like, they are plagiarizing? And people that frequent these channels, because I would do it in a sarcastic way. It's starting to get old to where somebody come out, they do their content, they say their piece, they do a whole show, and then 2 days later, 3 days later, 5 days later, somebody else is coming out doing the exact same content, verbatim. Say something about it. Especially if you go into a channel, like if you come over here to my channel and you see somebody else doing that same shit like 5 days later, like the exact same thing, say something like, this sounds so familiar. And don't let, like, and it's cool. It is refreshing, I guess, to hear women when they talk about boxing, they know what they talking about. It's not refreshing when they actually stealing, pilfering, plagiarizing, shoplifting. This shit getting ridiculous. And I know y'all see it. I know y'all know who I'm talking about. It's a couple of them out here doing it. It's not cute just because you might think they cute or because they female that they get away with it. That shit is not cute. Nip that shit in the bud. Say something about it. Make them get their own shit. It's nothing original going on right now. People just remixing the shit out of everything else. Get your own shit. Be a creative. Create your own shit. Stand on your own too. And stop being so reactionary. That's the housekeeping, man. Like I'm gonna get into that. That's the housekeeping right there. I'm gonna get into the main thing. The main thing is that Janibek and Erislandy Lara decided to get on their predator shit, some Highlander shit, where they want to see who are the best in the land. So Janibek, with his WBO and his IBF, is going to get in a unification with Erislandy Lara for the WBA. And Erislandy Lara, man, he's perhaps one of the best to ever lace up a pair of gloves as well. He goes under the radar. as well. Slick Cuban and Father Time is just doing them right. What's so ironic about Erislandy Lara is that the older he gets, the more fan friendly his style is. Like, he's actually slowing down. He still uses feet, but he's slowing down, using more of his power, and he's starting to touch people a lot harder and sit down on his punches a lot better. And so the older you get, the more prone he is to knocking out some shit. What time was that? Okay. All right. Hopefully I'm still on there. Yo.
You here, bro? You here?
Okay. All right. So.
Yeah, you good.
All right. So let me do this. All right. Let me get this right here. Appreciate y'all hanging in there, man. Them technical difficulties be something else, man. So Janibek, Aleem Hanallah versus Erislandy Lara scheduled for December the 6th. 2 middleweight title holders put their belts on the line this winter. This was by Will Esco, written on October the 13th at 7:24 p.m. Will Esco is an assistant editor of Bad Left Hook and has been covering boxing for SB Nation since 2014. Middleweight title holders Janibek Alam Halana, IBF and WBO, and Erislandy Lara, WBA, are officially set to unify their belts on December the 6th when they appear on the undercard of Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Rose. Janibek, 17-0 with 12 knockouts, has been out of action since he stopped Anul Gamisangwe in 5 rounds back in April, while Lara
You going out again, Body.
You ain't there, Body. You going in and out again. AC, you can hear me?
Yeah, you crispy.
All right, bet you is too. Okay, it ain't us. Nah, we can't hear you, buddy. I knew you was talking, but nah, we can't hear you. Yeah, if you're trying to say something, man, we can't hear you. AC.
Yeah, I can't hear him neither.
Yep. So that's how I know we crispy. But yeah, your shit not cooked yet. Body, you muted now. Unmute. Now talk. Yeah, nah, your shit ain't coming through, bro. That shit ain't. Hey, you probably gotta end the show and just restart or something, bro.
Check your network.
Yeah, check the Wi-Fi too. AC, you want to try to cook a little something till Body come back or something, or what you want to do?
Yeah, for sure, man. Basically, the way I feel about this fight, it's it's a good fight. It's a fight that now gets the division moving again because there was a lot of buzz when Hamza was there.
Yeah.
You know, people had a lot of promise of Hamza, showing up and showing out at 160. Then he has that really bad performance to where it's both me and Body was like, we high on this guy, but you lost that fight to Adonis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he gets that gift and then he moves up to 168, and then it just seemed as though the 160-pound division just died. Like we watched it, die on some, I just
it ain't die. It's just a new era.
Yeah, exactly. And the problem is that, for us, like you being a fighter and still being, a real student of the game and stuff like that, we can go and pull up some of these younger names, some of these names people are like, who the hell is that? And we like, yo, these are the dudes that are looking to take over that division. You feel what I'm saying? Once the old guard is out. So, there's some stuff up there, and there's still a lot of potential of guys at 54 going up to 160. And now we're asking people, Body brought up Boots earlier, we're asking like Boots, go up to one. I mean, that was an impressive showing for, I guess, the level of competition that you faced. But at the end of the day, bro, if you're going to do shit like that, you might as well just go to 160, or at the very least 168, and then start your whole career so you can add some real legitimacy to what you're saying. And honestly, I could see Boots at $175. towards the end of his career?
Damn. Man, here, let me, cause I'm gonna be quick, man. I'm sleepy. I ain't gonna lie. How I feel, I like Janibek versus Lara. But if we gonna have, I take that back. That's not what I meant to say. I would have preferred Lara versus Adamas, and then the winner fights Janibek. That's what I would have preferred. But we're here. I hope that the winner does fight Adamas. That would be amazing. With the boots situation, I'm tired of it. I don't know what else to say about the young man. I'm watching him. That's it. Bakhram, nobody want to fight him, man. You know? Bakhram, he got brick hand. He got power in both hands. And yeah, man, it's getting scary out here too, man. I wanted to say I just watched Brian Norman punch in the bag. If y'all go to the Ring page, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram, it's everywhere. If y'all go watch him, Brian look confused to me. Brian is getting the crunch time, man. Confusion got to get out the window. You know, Devin's been here before. He's fought big competition. He's fought high-level guys. So, Brian, I don't know about all this confusion looking on the bag, but, you know, let's get it together, you know. But, yeah, man.
What do you mean confused?
You said what?
So what do you mean by confused? What you mean?
Like, man, he looked like he was confused punching it to me. He was just doing anything to look good for the camera. You know? See some structure on that bag a little bit. Let's see what that power looking like a little bit, you know? Let's see that jab. Because, you know, everything comes behind a jab. So, you know. But yeah, man.
I gotta check it out, man. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, man. So it's a video out they just posted. B Norm hitting that bag.
Is the bag yellow?
Nah, the bag he was hitting here. I'll go back to it. The bag he was just hitting.
Right, that's 2 months ago.
No, it's right here on Twitter. Hold on. The Ring. Let's see. No, it's called Ring Magazine. My fault. There it is. All right, they just posted it. Yeah, the bag is black and yellow. Yep.
What color T-shirt he got on and shorts?
He ain't got no T-shirt on.
Okay.
Black shorts, black thing on his do-rag on his head, black shoes, red gloves. But yeah, man.
All right, I'm seeing something on TikTok. But most of the other footage, it's showing stuff from 2 months ago. He's got on like
Do you be on Twitter?
No, not really. I do have a Twitter account, but I can't even log into it because I have no. I mean, I could get into it depending on what computer I'm on, but with the new with the new computers that I bought, I can't even get into it because I don't even remember the password.
Yeah, nah, man. I feel you.
So if like somebody sent me something from Twitter on my phones and stuff like that, I could view it, but sometimes trying to go there, like people like, yo, I saw this thing. I'm like, I have no idea. It wasn't recent.
Body, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Your mic is working good, man. You want to finish up? My bad. I just wanted to carry the show till you got back because, you know, I didn't want to just leave it, you know, high and dry. You know, I think your mic went out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Ooh.
I don't know. Like, Dang, that's messed up, man.
Ooh. I don't know, Boom. That one with that one. I guess it's titled August 6th.
No, today is October 14th, champ.
Yeah. No, I was just saying the video from August 6th. He looks sharp. So I'm trying. All right, let me see. This one might. Oh, don't tell me you want me. What the fuck is this?
I'm in this. Let it on.
Oh, he ain't got on black shorts in this video. He got on beige shorts.
Oh, okay. But I don't know, man. Hey, so who you rocking with that fight, AC?
To be honest with you, bro, I got Norman sleeping, Dev. Word to mother, bro. I don't see Dev surviving that shit, man.
No, AC.
Yeah.
Do you got your glasses on?
Yeah, bro.
No. Do you got your bifocals on?
Yes, sir.
What are you watching? What do you mean? Like,
Devin Haney, I'm gonna say it like this, and this is where
is Brian gonna cut the ring off?
He has the ability to cut the ring off. Whether or not he does or not, I'm just saying. I'm looking at it like this.
Who been in the bigger fights, Devin or Brian?
Definitely Devin.
Okay.
But
who's been undisputed, Devin or Brian?
Devin. Devin is more accomplished. You feel what I'm saying?
Who's seen this type of fight already before, Devin or Brian?
Okay, Devin, but this is what I'm saying. But none of that matters when sometimes we get like the Aaron Pryor versus Sugar Ray Leonard type of style. No one knew where Aaron Pryor was coming from. They was like, he's a rugged guy and stuff.
Stop
like
playing, AC. You trolling,
bro. Hold on. Let me say what I'm saying.
But Brian, all right. But before you say that, Brian Norman ain't no damn Aaron.
No, he's not. No, he's not. And I'm not saying he is. But I'm only making the example of saying, you know, when Aaron Pryor was coming on the scenes and shit like that, he was slapping people stupid and going into certain things. Everybody was like, yeah, he's gonna do this, and Ray Leonard's gonna do that, and this other fighter's gonna do this to the dude because he's a little bit under disciplined. He lunges with his stuff, yada yada yada. And what he do? He smacks dudes to sleep because they make mistakes. They make rookie mistakes because they're not looking at a dangerous fighter that just has that awkward style. So what I'm saying is this: when I look at Devin Haney's, when I look at his last 3 fights, and sum up and do the sum total of his last 3 fights, and I'm looking at where you are, and for me, in this particular fight, it's one of 2 things that this fight is going to come down to me. It's going to come down to mental conditioning, where you really are. Brian Norman, do you really believe in yourself? Do you really believe in your skill set? You feel what I'm saying? Because where Devin is leaving us with a lot of questions. We congratulate him on taking the fight. We know the boxer he is. If you're going into a fight with Devin Haney and you plan on beating him with boxing, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get beat. Because you just can't like go in there and think you're really gonna outbox Devin Haney. But for me, when I look at who believes in himself, who's coming in with much more confidence, who's coming in with, I have no baggage, I have no luggage. You feel what I'm saying? Who's coming in off of the more impressive victories? And when I just look at that dynamic, the numbers tell me it's in Brian Norman's favor. When you look at the tangibles of the fight, and when you start nitpicking
nobody
at
on
skill
Brian
sets,
Norman.
when you start looking at skill sets and stuff like that, then you say, okay, you check more boxes for Devin Haney than you will for Brian Norman.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes that shit don't
better
matter.
fights.
But sometimes that shit don't matter.
Yeah, it do matter because that means Devin Haney done fought the better competition and know what's coming.
And I hear what you're saying, but where I'm saying it doesn't matter is
Perception is reality, remember?
yeah, hard work beats talent, especially when talent does not work hard.
Devin is the hard work. Brian Norman. Okay,
He's
never
not
mind.
He's not that Devin that I used to see, and that's my biggest issue. He's not the Devin that I seen,
Yeah,
early
that's 'cause
on in
he's
his
full of
career
jewelry
working with
and
Floyd
shit.
Mayweather, doing the
Yeah.
3-step in jab, dang, 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 like lightning, dang, dang, dang.
Yeah,
That
because his
Devin
ass is dumb,
gone.
dumb, dumb with that jewelry.
Yeah, that Devin Haney that would have had me like, hell no, he about to, oh my God, this shit is not even close. Bro, skill set, no. If Ramirez fight he sat down and he chose to fight at times, I might be leaning more towards Devin Haney. You feel what I'm saying? But it's just the whole dynamic timing. I think he feels he's ready, but Brian Norman is going to catch you at the right time. Maybe in a rematch, Brian Norman gets destroyed. But I know in this first fight, I'm feeling like Brian Norman caught you at the right time, young man. And this was, I applaud you for it, but this wasn't the move you were supposed to make.
Nah. Go beat the man that is the man at the division right now, so you can be that man at that division, and that's what I like about that move. What I will say is when we look at the landscape, Lewis Crocker, Rolly Romero,
Barrios was the smart fight for me for Devin Haney.
Barrios.
Yeah,
No,
because
definitely
Barrios has the most impressive resume out of everybody that's there right now. He has the best resume, even with well, he does have the best resume. He fought the better competition, just hands down. You feel
And
what
so
I'm saying?
and so did Devin.
whether win or loss. But
So did Devin.
yes, so did Devin. But what I'm saying is this.
So then,
I
but when
thought
you
the
say
smarter
that, then
move
you can't say, but you
was to
can't
go
say that
after-
Brian Norman is fighting the same competition as Devin when Brian Norman ain't fought nobody that
No, I
is
never said
comparable
that.
to Devin's resume.
I never said that. But
So how
what
could
I'm
you
saying,
look at Brian Norman and say he's winning this fight?
because on the sheer fact of,
Power,
again, you got
power.
guys with skills. But
Just
when a
power.
guy with skills has a sketchy cerebellum, then you got to say, you know what? I think I might be going with the guy who's a little bit more secure in himself. He believes in himself. He believes in
he
his.
only got power, and that's what everybody see, and that's what y'all got to stop thinking about.
I
man.
think it's
Just
more-
power ain't gonna be enough, man.
Look at the video that I'm just talking about when it comes down to 2 months ago with him hitting that heavy bag. You see that
he
there's
gonna need that shit. He gonna need that 2 months
You'll-
ago. Come that
you'll
the
see-
15th or the 22nd.
you'll see that there's definitely all the tangibles that let you know, because he does throw the triple jab. And for me, Devin Haney's key to victory is the triple jab, the double and triple jab. If he can't execute a double and triple jab to keep Brian Norman guessing, he's gonna get smacked to sleep. And everything that Devin does wrong gets him knocked the fuck out by Brian Norman.
AC, man, when you gonna realize? No, I'm just playing. It's always fun debating with the guys, man. But
Yeah,
hey,
I'm
man,
just saying, right,
nigga, stop
like-
biting that cheesecake on the live, man.
right now it's hard for me. It's hard for me to see a clear, definitive path for Devin Haney, and I could go all the way back to the Zora Abdullah fight. Stylistically, that's the fight where Dev kind of changed.
You
For
sleep.
me, being a fan, he stopped being so much on his feet. He wanted to sit down. I guess he wanted to try to say, look, I got power, and in order for me to deliver this power, I got to sit down on some of these punches. So he became a little bit more flat-footed, but he replaced that flat-footedness, that flat-footed thing, with actually saying, okay, I'm gonna trade the flat-footed and not moving so much to find better positioning for my feet. So the trade-off, I don't really mind, but I'm not expecting him to go in there and do all of this movement and stuff like that. against Brian Norman because I don't think he wins the fight trying to beat Brian Norman like he beat Ramirez. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, he not gonna fight him like that for sure. Not. I don't even. That. Come on. Like, we got to be serious. He's about to fight somebody with power. Brian Norman and Jose Ramirez don't got the same power. Brian Norman got way more power than Jose Ramirez. So I know for sure he not coming to fight that fight, but not like this. I guarantee you he not about to fight him how he fought Ryan Garcia.
No, I hope not.
Did Devin have surgery?
On what?
To get that bionic chin that he gonna need.
Damn.
He need to go get his chin, man, because he gonna be in that motherfucker running for his life.
Bionic chin surgery is crazy. I've never heard that.
Bro, I don't know, bro. I applauded this fight the minute I heard about it, and then I was like, I got an eerie feeling down my back, like, damn, Dev. Wow, I applaud you for this, but I think the timing is way off for you to go after this dude.
Nah, B-Norm time is up, man. It's time to let Devin get back where he need to be at a new weight class, doing his thing, and yeah.
But if you've been following Gooch and everybody, you've been hearing me yell that Devin Haney belongs at 47 since after he fought Kambosos the second time. I was like, just go to 47.
But we all said that he was too big at 35. Remember, we was all saying that dumbass shit. Then he went up to 140, which is cool, but wasn't enough. We wasn't, because none of us was satisfied with that. I remember you was the first person that said it, but we all was agreeing that nigga Devin need to go up. Because we both thought that I thought he was a bully from the jump to begin with for weight classes. So,
yeah, but at the end of the day, I still think it's gonna be a good fight. I just want to see what Devin shows up. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see what actual changes have you really made. Are you more defensively responsible? Because I'm gonna tell you this right here, boom. When Devin Haney does something that if I was watching film on Devin Haney and I had to instruct Brian Norman, I would tell him Devin Haney leaves himself wide open for a left hook or right hook every time he does this thing. What he'll do, he'll go into a high guard. He'll be in like his little shoulder roll, aka Philly shell type thing, and then he'll go into a high guard, try to slip up under your punch, step to the side, and then shoot something straight at you, either 1-2 or something like that.
Some weak shit. No, I'm just playing. But yeah,
if he misses that, or that's disrupted in a little bit, then he goes into this real lazy shoulder roll. Real lazy type of style, to whereas when you look at everybody else who mastered that, the shoulder is always up high and that other glove is covering your chin.
No, I remember when we all said on Gooch panel that nigga Devin shoulder roll was nasty.
No, I never gave him that. I never gave that.
Yeah, because we didn't like it. Remember I'm saying? Like we said, this shit was disgusting.
So basically, every time he comes out of his high guard and goes into that shoulder roll, both of his hands actually drop. His chin and everything is wide the fuck open. And he's not showing that footwork that he used to whereas if he did it in the past, he would shuffle and then move out. And then back up and then reset and then want to come back in. That's not what he's doing. So I'm just nervous because if this is your new fighting style and this is something that, I'm seeing you do consistently, then, bro, this is the shit that's going to get you dropped because it's that same weak type of shoulder roll shit that let Ryan catch him over and over again. I understand the Austrian. I was pissed off about the Austrian, but at the end of the day, every time you do that, both of your hands come down. And I'm like, bro, stop doing that.
Hey, AC, what was you pissed off about?
Oh, I was pissed off about the eye stream. I ain't gonna lie. Once I found out, I gave him his props. I gave Ryan his props. I said, yo, this Ryan just did something amazing. He came up and he beat a true pound for pound fighter. Because at that time, Devin was on the pound for pound
He
list.
said, yo, Ryan did something amazing.
Yeah, you beat the shit out of a pound for pound fighter like that, bro. I gotta give you your props. And that was my guy. So yeah, to me, that was amazing. Like, get the fuck out of here. Ryan just did that to you? Wow. Wow. What the fuck? Then I hear the eye stream. Then it's like, get the fuck out of here. See? Nah.
My man AC said, wow.
Yeah, bro. I mean, this shit is comical to me to this day too. Because when I start to talk about it and think about it, I just be like, wow. But at the end of the day, bro,
Excuse me.
I just don't. I just have a hard time seeing it, bro. And I hate saying it, man. I hate saying it. Not, this is the first fight in Dev's entire career that I'm against him on. I'm like, you don't win this.
You
fight,
not
bro.
though. Like in the inside, you like, man, I'm gonna go tell the people. Like no, on the outside, you like, no, I'm gonna tell the people be knowing. But in the inside, you going for Devin. Like me, like I'm going for Devin.
I wish I could, bro.
You playing, dude. Hey, y'all, he trolling.
No, I'm not trolling. Yo, listen, I shot B-Mac in them when I said that. When I said it. Fistiano.
Shout out to Mac Mob, man.
All of them was like, no, this is not AC. This is a dude fronting like he AC. Nah, AC. I would have figured you came up here and you was gonna talk all kind of gorilla shit on how Dev was going to destroy this dude and outbox him. I'm like, I can't, man. Looking at his last three performances, yes, Regis was the best of his last three, but this dude ain't Regis. He got shit that people literally sleep on. Like they're sleeping on certain things because he said he had a hand injury. His hand was fucking with him and stuff like that. I felt that it was an issue with distance. Maybe that distance issue was I can't really let this shit go the way I want to.
Hell yeah, but hey y'all, man, I'm gonna let y'all cook the rest of the night. Shout out the panel, shout out Bodywork.
So what's your take
AC,
before you go, Boom? Before you go, what's your take on the Lara versus Janibek fight? Who you got?
I gotta look into it. I gotta look at both sides, and I really gotta pay attention to both. I gotta go look at some of these fights, and then I'll be able to say. Right now, I just don't want to say because it's a good fight to me. But
so you at a 50-50 point right now too.
Yep. Till I watch some film, man.
Okay, respectable.
Yep. Hey, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out Body, shout out AC, shout out the Bodywork channel, man, and the panel, man. Shout out everybody who here. Salute, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. And yeah, man, I'm out, man. Thank you for always letting me be here, man.
All right, man. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Peace.
Yeah, so what's your take on it, Body? Because I know you had the audio issues and stuff like that before you was really starting to chop it up.
Interesting because even though I'm leaning towards Lara, I think it is 50-50 because Janibek is of course he got father time and he might be a little more explosive, but I think that Lara might be able to outbox him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you. I mean, Lara is one of the more craftier, experienced Cuban fighters out here. You know what I'm saying? And where Janibek is from, they're both kind of stylistically evenly matched and stuff like that. I just think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna come down to who might be a little bit more crafty, and I think as far as being creative and crafty, I probably got to check that box off and give it to Lara, because he seems to be able to make moves and adjustments and stuff like that, and get a little freestylish with it. Like if he can't necessarily figure it out, he'll try some freestyle stuff to maybe try to get you to throw off your rhythm instead of you catching my rhythm. So but Janibek is like a computer, man. I gotta say that, like, the things that I've seen Janibek and the things that made me like Janibek, it's because it's like he'll go into what I call like Terminator mode, to where he's seeing everything, and then there's the data little thing, like plotting on each thing, shoulder, head, eyes, dot 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 dot, and then you see like the words in the readout, like right next to him, like eyes are pointed, 35 degrees down to slightly to the left. So he must be thinking that he's gonna go for a body shot or try to fake a body shot and then bring it upstairs. So Janibek at times seems to have that ability to read your movements, and that's where you see him start to pick guys apart and then shut them down. So yeah, this is stylistically all day. To me, it's a 50-50 fight. It's one of those fights that I really, really want to see, but if someone's to point a gun to my head and say, no, you got to pick one right now, this is Thunderdome, one man in, one man out, I would probably go with Lara. But now, I don't know how I'm going to feel, in a couple of days. But for right now, I'm going with Lara because I think he's the more craftier and creative fighter. And in this type of fight, when the guys are so evenly matched, when you talk about styles making fights, it's those nitpicking tangibles that you have to like start to really look at.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be the toughest puzzle that Janibek is going to face, and I think this is one of those fights to where he has more of a chance the more patient he is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If he kind of let Father Time kind of pace himself, figure him out, and be disciplined, fight behind the jab, be opportunistic, take what Lara give him, kind of try to pick up his pattern and then try to pick it up as it goes on, I think it'll be better. But like, knowing him, he's probably going to try to get him. He's probably going to try to go for the knockout on Lara, and I think Lara has the kind of style to where he's going to frustrate you. It's almost like how when Shakur's on his thing, it's like that same style to where it's like, he gonna do what he want. He not really gonna let you touch him. He gonna touch you, and you kind of gotta like be disciplined to figure it out and kind of like make your adjustments as it goes along. And if you get undisciplined and you start reaching or you get impatient, then he's gonna make you pay. So I think he's gonna have to take his time, and he's gonna have to listen to his coaches and let his coach be his eyes and his ears, because Lara will frustrate you. It'll be like, man, that's all you're gonna do. It's almost like you get bored with what he's doing. But if you get out of line, yeah. Lara's been sitting down on some shit lately. So I think it's interesting because Janibek is young, and I think Janibek has a lot to prove. And this is a dangerous fight for Lara because shit, you can definitely get old real quick, and then punches like Janibek can punch.
Yeah,
so that's how I see it.
Yeah, for me, it's like I guess we're kind of on the same page that Janibek keys to victory is patience and going into what I just dubbed as his Terminator mode, where he's looking at everything and reading everything. I almost feel like if he's in the ability to, if Janibek has the ability to control the pace, make the fight boring. Make Adamas try to get extra creative. And then your simple approach to it will have, in my opinion, may make Adamas walk into something that you could like really hit him and hurt him and make him shell up, and then you could bum rush up on him and be the closer that Janibek is. So I would agree to you. I would agree with you right now, to whereas patience is going to be his biggest weapon. Being patient, looking at what he's doing, listen to his corner. If his corner makes the adjustment, go out there and execute that adjustment right away. Because these are the things that'll keep making Lara make other adjustments, and to whereas he can't really sink himself into anything, to whereas he's frustrating you too much.
So let me ask you something. Janibek's coming to the table with the WBO and IBF, and Lara got the WBA. So once this is over with, 3 of the Infinity Stones will be in one of these guys' hand. I don't know if it's going to be a rematch or not. The article didn't say much about that, but that's going to come out. I would imagine that it is a rematch clause. I would definitely think if Janibek and them people know anything, they would have a rematch clause in theirs. But I would definitely think it might be a rematch clause on both. Who knows? But with that being said, if let's play if Janibek wins or if Lara wins, and then they're looking at Adamas to because we're closer to undisputed than anybody would have ever thought. Like, who would have thought that the closest undisputed we might be looking at is at the 160-pound division? So what's your take on that?
Like I said, I like it. I don't have no issues, because now the division is moving again. We're getting like solid movement instead of like young prospects and stuff like that. Between the champions, we're getting movement. I have no issues with honestly in this fight. I got no issues with whoever wins. I'm actually gonna be watching this fight, kind of rooting for both these guys, which then is gonna make it a super exciting fight to me, because I've been a big fan of Janibek, and you know, I've always been like a quiet, in the back of the room type of fan of Lara. You feel what I'm saying? I've always respected his skill set and everything, but part of me was like, I kind of wanted to see a hell of a lot more from Lara. I wanted to see him be a lot more busy. You feel what I'm saying? I was calling for the Lara versus Adamas fight, or Adamas versus Lara, for like forever and 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Y'all two dudes could get it on. Fuck waiting for Janibek, and then one of you guys fight Janibek. You know, but things didn't happen. But now this stuff is happening, and it's good for that division. So whoever walks away with those belts, I hope the very next fight is actually making a fight with Adamas. And I hope that, you know, Adamas doesn't try to hide behind maybe a WBC mandatory, or, you know, some other crazy shit that just slows that momentum down. Because there was something that I did see that I thought was kind of funny. I saw somebody bring this talking point up and bring this fight up. Once we get all of this undisputed stuff, you know, and let's just say all of this undisputed stuff happens within 2026. Someone said Terrence Crawford undisputed at 160. And I was like, Okay, that shit would be kind of funny that this dude Crawford just is like, all right, everybody from 154, I already did it at 168, 154, 160. Either one of you dudes even think about becoming undisputed, I'm gonna come take that belt from you. You know what I'm saying? Like on some Debo shit. And I was just like, I just started laughing to myself at that, just the way the dude was presenting it, and I was like, yo, that's just on some like Debo shit, bro. Like you just running around stealing niggas undisputed, not stealing it, but beating them up for they undisputed in one fight after they done did all of this work. I'm like, that's fucked up, bro. That's fucked up.
I mean, I heard somebody say that, man, like as if, I mean, like they would agree to it. I'm like, well, I mean, I guess if that bag is right, but I don't think when it comes down to this division right here, I don't think Adames is going to run from anything, man. I think he kind of want to prove himself. I think, me personally, I like the performance that he had. He showed me a lot against Hamza, but I'm more. Because remember, we said, man, something might have been wrong with his hand. Because I'm like, why was he fighting like that? And I'm thinking, man, something might have been wrong with Hamza's hand in that fight. And even though I was impressed by what Adames did, I might think that, man, he might be the odd man looking out on this one. Because I don't think he can outbox Lara. And I don't know about him and Janibek. That's an odd fight for me. So I mean, the winner facing Bud. I mean, if Bud gonna sit around, are they gonna allow him to do that? I don't know.
Hold them belts at 68.
Yeah, are they gonna let him sit out and just pop in once these guys, you know what I'm saying, like link all the belts up? I don't know, man. That'd be kind of wild, man. I mean, he is Bud, but yeah. I think that bag would have to be, he's gonna have to come with a bag, man.
Yeah, for him to be undisputed at 160 and looking at those champions at 160. Honestly, to me, and that's a $30-40 million fight. I can't see that. I can't see him being undisputed against any of those champions, and they talking anything like 50, 60, $70 million fight. I'd be shocked. I'd be like, well, goddamn. Oh, goddamn. Wow. That's what that Canelo fight did for you, bro. Wow. Okay. Because other than that, it's just like, meh. You going to 160, like, yeah. I can't see the general public feeling that any one of those champs can beat Terence Crawford, even at 160. So it'll be a nice size bag for him. And yeah, I ride off after four times undisputed. I'm gone. And nothing else for me. I relinquished the belts at 68. Let them youngins up there scrap for them shits. And came down to 160, did that. And now I'm gonna let these dudes scrap for this shit. So I'm not co-signing it. I just think if he did something like that, people that don't like Terence Crawford would be like, nah, fuck that, bro. That shit is no. He got to stop doing that shit. So I'm like, yeah, that part I get, but it's just funny as hell because that's on some real Debo shit to me. But as far as any of the other champs up there at 160 and the possibility of a undisputed by sometime in 2026, yeah, that's a real possibility that's on the table. That is a real possibility that's on the table. So listen, man. Hey, I hear a lot of people trying to throw Boots in the name of that, but when you look at being the most accomplished boxer in all of boxing history, this man says, you know what, I'm taking time off. I might be back the fall of 2026, but late summer I'll make the announcement on who I'm gonna fight. And then the winner of this fight fights Adames. Anytime before that, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I think this dude really gonna announce an undisputed fight at 160.
Well, I think he pretty much he know what he got with Adames, because they got sparring history. So I'm thinking he might be ripe for the taking, but I don't know, man. And as far as Boots, man, I'm getting turned off, man. I'm getting turned off by that, man. I mean, the man called out. We know who he gonna fight. We know that where is that? We pretty much know that the play is the guy on the far right here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the guy on the far right. So after the fight, he mentioned the guy right beside him with that IBF. He mentioned him, and that same night, that dude was like, "I'm ready," and we ain't heard nothing. Like I'm not gonna like the same thing that they was knocking Bud for as far as the resume and not fighting the names and saying he didn't get the opportunity. They trying to say the same shit with Boots, but then they are applauding the fact that or giving him an excuse for signing with Eddie. It's like you can't have it both ways. So I'm getting turned off because all I hear is all these like all I keep hearing right now is the Beehive they just hating on Bud, man. They just like it's a bunch of Bud haters that have rallied together, and now they supporting Boots, and they're letting them get away with it. They literally letting them get away with a bunch of bullshit right now.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Because when I look at a person like Dan Rayfield, basically came out and he was like, the fuck did we watch? Where's all of this praise for doing something spectacular in this last fight with Boots? So he's pretty much on the same train that we're currently passengers on. Like, okay, we're giving you your credit, we're giving you a whole bunch of stuff, but at the end of the day, you told us this was supposed to be a tune-up. Everybody, whatever, going into fight week, it just turned into something different. And then it was like this statement, and I'm seeing headlines, Boots made statement at 54, Will Crawford fight Boots at 54. Okay, so let's look at the logic there. Y'all saying that Boots is now at 54. He just sparked Lima. Why does he need to go down and fight Jerron Boots Ennis, fight a Brian Norman, or even entertain a Brian Norman? So the Normans need to stop talking about Boots because he's at 154. Okay, with the same energy, you same creators, then stop talking about Bud versus Boots, because Bud is at 168 pounds. That's where his last fight was. And he had a very impressive fight. Much, much, much more impressive than watching Boots versus Lima.
Yeah, it's like when I'm starting to hear people our age, when I'm starting to hear people like in our age range and up say that, oh yeah, that's what he need to be doing. He need to be attaching his name. It's more. I'm tired of this. Just this formula of attaching your name. It's like you can do. Listen, think about this. Who did Abdullah Mason attach his name to?
Nobody. He attached his
Who
name
did
to
Jesse Bam
himself.
Rodriguez? Who did Jesse Bam Rodriguez attach his name to?
He attached his name to 3 people: me, myself, and I.
Who did know all your inner way attach his name to?
Himself. Even he wouldn't even
Like-
let people. He wouldn't even let people try to compare him to some of the other great Japanese legends. He was
So-
like, no, still me.
So in recent history, we have success stories to where we even have when I said the last shall become first and the first shall be last, with the whole Keyshawn, the way he attached his name to Tank. And I said it, I called it, I said, listen, when he get that belt, he ain't gonna say Tank name. And what'd he do? He got that belt, he didn't say Tank name. That whole energy changed.
That was
And
like
then-
a curse word.
And look, and then he had the young boy Abdullah Mason. He shits on Abdullah Mason. He shits the bed in his hometown, and Abdullah Mason takes the mantle. Abdullah Mason has never attached himself to nobody else. All he do is get in the ring and do his thing. And his name, just like even when you listen to what Carmel is doing, Carmel has been attached. Carmel just attached his name to Scooter Davis. He attached his name to Zay Quinn. Zay Quinn attaching his name to Carmel. What is Abdullah Mason doing? He's going in the ring and he's sparking whoever's in front of him, and his name is in the conversation. Like
of
this
Stevenson,
thing.
of a Keyshawn Davis. You feel what I'm saying? Of a Schofield, and people are like, bro, Keyshawn is doing it from the mud. So if y'all ain't respecting Abdullah is doing it from the mud. If y'all ain't respecting Abdullah Mason, then I don't know what type of boxing fans you are, because he's doing everything every boxing channel, asks for. I want to see the best fight and the best. I want to see the young talent that's, just I don't want to see the young dudes that are out here talking guerrilla shit on Twitter and all of this other goofy shit, and then get in the ring and giving us half-ass performances. This dude don't talk shit on Twitter. He shows you what him and his family is doing, and then when you put somebody in front of them, they either working on something, or they getting you. Even if they're still getting you out of here. That says to me, they're moving this man exactly the way you build legacy in the ring. When you want to build a legacy fighter, you do what Abdullah Mason is doing.
And the thing is, this is becoming such a fad that, and it's the same thing. It's just like what we were saying as far as what we've been saying, like when mainstream media starts force feeding you guys, like when they start force feeding guys down your throat, it's just like what happened with Bud, like when it was the Bud and Lomachenko. Now granted, Bud re-signed. They used all that money to put around Tyson Fury and Lomachenko. That was the network's part. That was the networks doing. And they were the networks were force feeding everybody Lomachenko and Tyson Fury. And to a certain extent, they did have a set of skills and they did do their thing. But when you look at Lomachenko and how his career unfolded, and he had some good wins, but pretty much every time it was a big fight with a known name, he lost. He did get the Rigondeaux, who he brought up, but they don't give him the same flack for bringing somebody up like they would do it, somebody like a Tank. He do have the Mr. Gary Russell that he got on his resume. He got some names, you know what I'm saying? But even when I look at it, he fought Pedraza after Pedraza had already got stopped by Tank. Nobody say nothing about none of that, but they force-fed us Lomachenko. They even had Teddy Atlas tell Bud to his face that he had, him and Andre Ward even tell Bud to his face that they had Lomachenko. But that's when mainstream media start force feeding you some people, then you already know, like, okay, more than likely it's something up with that. That's the one that they feel like they can get behind, or they got a plan for, like, because it's nobody force feeds you Tank. Like, everybody, it's popular to hate on him. He got it by going in there and knocking people the fuck out. Like the shit that I saw with Zay Quinn this weekend, when he was in there with this dude from Baltimore that they've been bringing. I seen this dude from Baltimore in there getting slapped around the last time I seen him. I was like, yeah, they just bringing you in. But at that time, it was only one person that made it. I think it was a 6th rounder. It was only one dude that actually survived, and I think it was because it was a short amount of rounds. Everybody else wasn't making it. The Nair Albrights and all these other guys that get in there and they're like, oh yeah, he really gave. There was no test. You wasn't last. That's the same shit that Abdullah doing, where you're not making it. Like at the level when they put those guys in front of you at that level, at that stage, you are not seeing the final bell. Period. Yeah. That's how you get your name up there. It's not by attaching and making this correlation between you and somebody else's career. Because what if they go out and get on a motorcycle and they're not here tomorrow? What if they go out and get on a plane and they crash? Like you can't do it that way. The way to do it is you study your opponent. You have a game plan. You have a plan B. You have a plan C. And you go in there and you get the job done. And you stop him. You don't have to attach yourself. So today, when I seen a headline from the Haney voice once again, saying that Boots maybe Boots is the next Bud Crop. No, Boots is JBE. He's not TBC. And this is just starting to become ridiculous. Because they did it with Berlanga and they knew they was dead wrong. We were saying that they was doing it for 1 year, and I've been saying for years. But I gotta be proven right in hindsight once the shit hit the fan. But in real time, I gotta be in purgatory listening to all this dumb shit in real time with people just shoving this shit down our throat, telling us who Berlanga was when we know who Berlanga. I knew who Berlanga was. I knew who Munguia was. I'm like, these are not those guys. Just because Canelo chose these guys, no. The mainstream was pushing these dudes, saying, oh yeah, man, let's look at Berlanga. He got a parade, just giving them all this. It's like, no. The dude was on the top rank diet, wound up getting exposed. You know what I'm saying? Then Munguia, he was over there with Oscar. Oscar was had him and the big boy, Gilberto Zerto got exposed. He got in there with Bill, got exposed. Like they let them dudes get up there and have like 40, 50 fights damn near before they really made them do something. But everybody want to say Tank name. That like you attaching yourself to whatever and latching on to somebody else's name and their, and their right and the work that they're doing. First of all, it's selfish. Second of all, you don't have no morals. Like get it out the mud. Like do it on your own. Like do it based on your own merit. Because when we click offline and we get off and we stop talking about boxing, we get out in the real world. You got to do it on your own merit. It's based on what you do. Yeah, you can network and do all this, but it's really going to be based on your namesake and what you actually put, the work that you're actually putting in. You can't, like if you got a rich family and all that, you might be able to get a little something. Like if you in the Heinz ketchup family or, one of these large places, like, yeah. But in boxing, you got to go the Abdullah Mason route.
Yeah, and we used to, when we was all together on those Murderers Row, it was a term we always used. You dudes have to run your own race. If you're not running your own race, what are you out here doing? You in my opinion, you playing games. You looking for the easy path. You know what I'm saying? In order for you to lift, 200 pounds, you have to do pull-ups, you have to do push-ups. You feel what I'm saying? Because those are the two exercises that'll build your arm strength, shoulder strength, and chest muscles so you can be able to do that. Then you have to start at a low weight and build up the resistance and the strength to that you can get up to that 200 pounds. Dudes nowadays seem like, all right, I'm going to ask AI, what is the easiest path for me to be able to lift 200 pounds? And if AI told you, go take a shot of Ostarine, then you're going to go take a shot of Ostarine and lift that 200 pounds and then tell everybody online, yeah, bro, I done cracked 200. I done did that shit, I done pressed it 5 times. Now my next goal is 300 because now you got the secret. Just dope up on some Ostarine And that Austrian, if you could pick up 2, you should be able to pick up 3 on that Austrian. So it's just like, you know, the shortcut mentality, the I want it now mentality, the id, the ego, libido, all of that kind of stuff we learned in first year psychology and shit like that. That's what this era of boxing is. And this is what some of these young fighters are doing by trying to attach themselves to somebody big. You know, look at Boots. Boots keeps attaching himself to Terrence Crawford. You feel what I'm saying? You've attached yourself to Terrence Crawford once you've seen it was basically feasible to do it. You feel what I'm saying? You tried to do it with Errol Spence, but the Spence fans just came out their face and say, make the fight. Errol gonna fuck you up. Errol ain't gonna duck that fight. Make the fight. If your people are strong, that's an in-house fight. Make the fight. It was like, well, let me not mention Errol too much because, yeah, that is an in-house fight, so, kind of, sort of. So I'll go over on that side to, you know, because I know that at this time, it's timing.
But AC, don't it? This I'm not being facetious. And this is why I'm backing off. See, they actually making me like, they actually turning me off, man, because all of the shit that I'm hearing, I'm like, man, now y'all sound like the fans that y'all hate with this agenda y'all pushing now. So tell me this. How the fuck are you saying that you'll beat the shit out of Bud, but we got this guy saying, hey, I'm ready. I've been waiting. Hey, nobody will fight me. And all you want to say is Bud. Well, why is it that you cannot get this guy? And all of the people look, the Beehive, what they gonna do? I just don't understand. Where'd this Bakhram guy go? And why can't we just support our own guy? And why can't it's like, well, why is it okay for you to do? Why is it okay for you to do what people accuse Bud of doing at the time?
Yeah.
Just attaching his name to Errol Spence, like, and then saying, it was convenient to say, oh, well, I didn't have the opportunity. That same shit that Ward and all them trying to perpetuate. And it's like, no, we got interviews where you were saying that the fight was behind you. And you don't know if you're going to take that fight. So it's like, it worked out for you. But why are they becoming the same fans that they despise? Like, I don't understand. Like, why is it so cool just to be able to attach yourself to somebody else's name and then not go do no? And because they say, because I keep hearing them say, oh, well, they said this guy went and did the heavy lifting. What the fuck do you call what Earl did at 47?
Yeah,
that wasn't the heavy lifting. Like, who went and got the straps?
That's the very definition of heavy lifting.
But Bud moved up, he got one strap. He moved up, he got one strap. Earl already had one. Earl went out and got the other 2, and then they fought. So one dude moved up and got one strap. One dude had a strap and got 2 more straps. So one dude got 3. One dude got 1. Then they fought, and the one dude who had 1 took the other 3. So, but then they mock, and this is the gaslighting part. They say, oh well, yeah, they say this guy did all the heavy lifting. I'm like, so what do you call what Earl did?
Yeah,
he did the heavy lifting. Like, so now, and then they'll say, oh, because the thing is, in that whole scenario, and the reason why Bud had all of the quote-unquote clout is because when he came to the table, he was bringing a prior undisputed to the table with the moniker of being the two division champ. You know what I'm saying? A 2 division champ, plus one of them he had undisputed. So that was the cachet he had. So why is the young guy coming in where he just had Unify, so he's former Unify, so now they're going to say he's 2 division, but we're not comparing apples to apples. And the same thing that we criticize Bud for, now it's okay when you do it. That's hypocrisy. And then they use the whole thing about, oh, well, they want him to do the, they said Earl did the heavy lifting, which I don't know how. It's like, you sound dumb as fuck because Earl did do the heavy lifting. So somebody's asking Boots to do some heavy lifting or do some kind of lifting, because right now you're comparing getting a belt mailed to you, then getting a unification with a guy that got a belt mailed to him, moving up and fighting a guy with we're gonna say a champ because he had the IBO, but most of the time that's not even recognized. It's like you're trying to piece together and piecemeal some motherfucking you handcrafting, you sewing polo logo on your polo shirt. Like it was just a, you know what I'm saying? Like you,
like Big told them, like, yo, you sewing
you know
polo
what I'm saying?
logos on your shirt.
To a guy at this point, to a guy that's already got 3 divisions that he undisputed, 2 above the one where he just made a pit stop, grabbed the belt. Because think about it, we was roasting the shit out of Matt. I was saying, nah, Bud, man, why is Bud picking Madrimov? I was roasting the shit. I said, nah, man, this dude, I'm not buying all that. Madrimov ain't that good, man. He had what, 11 fights. He fought one of these dudes. He fought twice. I was roasting the shit out of it. And then you do the same thing with a dude with an IBO with less experience than that. No amateur background or nothing. And it's okay when you do it, but you get to attach yourself to Bud because he did it. But Bud got 3 undisputeds. You ain't even sniffed the draws yet. Like you ain't even. It's just the eye test. It's like it's getting outrageous, man.
And that's the thing that I was trying to bring out to some of the more extreme Boots fans. Like, listen, you same fans get it on Bud. Went after him hard body, like who the fuck is Madrimov? Here he is fighting a guy with only 10 fights at the time, and nobody knows who he is. And Madrimov, blah, 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 super cherry pick, blah, 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 blah. But then the same guys were trying to play some of the argument of saying, but just because you do not know who Lima is, doesn't mean he's a bad fighter. He's a really good fighter. He's solid. He's never been dropped. He's never been this. He's never been that. Okay. All right. But I don't know about that victory that my eyes seen. So the talking points don't match what actually happened in the ring on that night. Maybe he most definitely did walk himself into something. He might have been overcommitted, and you know that punch, that uppercut was right there, buzzed him, blah 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 blah, this and that. But certain aspects of it just didn't look right. And I'm not trying to take anything away, but you justify the Lima victory as making a statement at 54, but Terrence Crawford did not make a statement at 54 with Madrimov. You feel what I'm saying? And people were saying, yeah, now Boots need to go up and Eddie needs to make that Bud fight. And I believe Boots could take him at 54 because he ain't look sharp against Madrimov. Okay, then you told us about these phony offers. So if people were always talking about it, yeah, Boots versus Bud, I think Boots could beat Bud. I think, okay, how do y'all his move not to fight Yoenis Tellez or goes directly after Bakhram? Oh, because Lubin ain't want to give it up, and Lubin was cock blocking. Lubin ain't want to do nothing. So okay, so if Lubin ain't want to do that, why is not Lubin fighting Bakhram right now? Well, I can't really call it because there ain't no money in the Bakhram fight. That's all I'm saying. Ain't no money in the Bakhram fight because you know Lubin wanted, and it's just like, bro, okay, I hear you, but name recognition, Rod. This is the guy who's just got the ring belt. This is the guy who became undisputed. He got the ring. Unified. He got the ring belt, and he unified at the same time. Everybody was talking about, oh my God, look at what he did. Look at what he did to this dude. Yo, listen, he definitely gonna be undisputed by 47. Then we just find out basically overnight he's going to 54. Okay, so if you're going to 54, why didn't you use your leverage as the IBF champion to put yourself in position to fight Bakhram? Because this is the point that people were trying, some channels were trying to say, especially one channel, why didn't Bud use the IBF belt since he was undisputed to challenge, make himself Errol Spence's mandatory at 147? So if you ask that question, why you guys are not cooking this dude on him going the IBO route, making himself a default 2-division champion. He can't even get full credit on being the 2-division champion because legitimately you beat a champion. So you can't. You're a default guy. You're default IBO champion, and you could have been a full champion if you would have went up there and you would have beat Bakhram the same way you beat what's the name? That's a notice fight. That's putting that division on notice. I came up here, I fought the Boogeyman that none of y'all want to fight, and I knocked this motherfucker out with 2 seconds left out of 2 minutes of the first round.
Nah, because now they saying that they going back to that whole then we'll be rushing Boots at that point. I'm off of it, man. I'm not going through that. I'm not going through this with a whole nother fan base, man. I'm not going through it. I noticed that a lot of these people that's pushing this agenda are people that just hate Bud. At first it was like, okay, I understand you don't like some of the moves and all that, but like it's like once he did what he did to Canelo, and it was no adverse, even though the snack being affiliated with Victor and all of that shit is questionable, right? But like once no adverse test came up, there was no findings, there was really no glove controversy. He just went in there and put hands and feet on Canelo, did it rather handily. That's it. Like that exposed a lot of people the fact that they just was really just shitting on Bud. Like they just really just hated Bud. They won't give him no credit. They live it in the past, and it's like they won't get over it. But they are becoming the very fans that they fucking say that they despise. And I'm not going through this. I'm not going through this with Boots. Like Boots is not. He ain't what everybody say he is. I'm just gonna say it. I don't give a fuck if anybody mad. I don't care. It's just getting ridiculous, man. It's just a bunch of people crying every day, doing the same shit. Like these same people are the same people in the same breath in the same conversation get on Shakur every day for attaching themselves to Tank. But it's okay for Boots to attach himself with Crawford. And I did used to believe in all the whole pass the torch shit. But Bud been moving the way he been moving. And what's gonna get you to think that he gonna move any other kind of way? And if Bud say, hey man, this dude he ain't even do shit to deserve me to do that. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? You won't even show yourself. You won't even show what it is. It's just like with Shakur. Like Shakur could have did the same thing. Shakur didn't want to go. Yeah, he did the little thing with Loma outside that Riyadh season. He was out there doing all of whatever. But he wasn't aggressively doing that. This man said he been chasing Williams Zapata for 3 years. Sat there and told that bold-faced lie.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but he been chasing Tank. It's like, no, calling somebody out versus relentlessly pursuing him. Relentlessly pursuing somebody is what David Morrell did with David Benavidez. Yeah. Boots ain't even relentlessly pursuing Bud. Like, what is he really doing? If he was, he would go up there, he is beat shit down Bakhram leg, jump up and beat shit down the winner of Janibek and Lara, and then be like, what's up? Go up there and step on the diamonds. But he avoided, you could say he slandered Norman, then get mad when they crank Senior up, and then he talk his shit, then they get on there and they get to crying. But then even in doing that, they be contradicting themselves. They be like, oh man, I don't know why Senior always talking about Boots. Why the fuck y'all always talking about Norman Senior?
Yeah, why y'all keep asking him about what happened? Can you fill us in on the details, on the real details of what happened between you and what's the name? And the man is like, look, I'm just tired of talking. We gonna talk about this fight that's coming up. Yeah. Let's just get into those details real quick. Just clarify for anybody who don't know, any new subscribers or whatever. And then they have this man talk about that. So it's just,
and then they don't want to acknowledge. And see, this is another thing. This is what I'm talking about as far as becoming the fan that you despise. Because when I used to put people that was on the one side trying to defend some of the things that Bud was doing, I used to put them in this bag, and they couldn't get out. Right? This is what they do. They will continuously say, "I don't give a fuck." Brian Norman, he could have made the highest paycheck. It was 1.7, but then when you bring up Daryl Peoples and the whole fact about Rachel going to Daryl Peoples, and it was okay when this whole community, you know, that LDBC community, the same community that tried to warn Senior about, like, oh man, Senior, it's gonna be all love at first, and now look at you, you got butt fuck tuberculosis. You know what I'm saying? Going after you and Junior like a scorn lover. You know what I'm saying? Every day, just shitting on you when it was all hunky dory. I tried to warn you and say, hey, listen, man, don't fuck with them LDBC. It's gonna start off like that, but once you get that butt fuck tuberculosis, man, it's gonna go bad. And ever since then, that's all he been doing, ragging on Senior. But it was okay when Rachel used to go over there and kick it with the LDBC and support and do all this. It was okay when she used to go over there to that Philly channel and give all that love and support. They was going, meeting up at the fights, and they was all hunky-dory. But the minute she got on there and told that truth, they cut her mic. She said she asked Daryl Peoples, and they said that the fight would not be able to happen because Karen had already put in the paperwork, and they did not pay the money. But all these thorough ass, that's why I said we got all these thorough ass part-time thorough ass channels out here who you thorough, but when it comes to that talking point and the fact that the fight couldn't happen, it just sounds better to be able to say Brian Norman and them duck, as opposed to admitting the truth that the fight couldn't happen. And they both was playing, both sides was playing the media. Yeah, you know exactly. What I'm saying? That's it. But they don't want to admit that, so they become the same fans that they despise that will finagle the truth. You know what I'm saying? That'll gaslight you and act like, oh no, you know, let's just move on. It's like, no, you think that it's popular because you don't want to rub everybody the wrong way. But the truth of the matter is that fight couldn't happen. Eddie knew that fight couldn't happen. He did a smear campaign. And even when bygones are bygones with that, he came out and did it again right before the Jen fight. 3 weeks before the Jen fight, he came out and did it again.
Bro, the funny part is, you know, we saw what Eddie was doing long before Rachel came out and was saying what she was saying, because we were reading the articles. Yep. We were reading the articles. We were listening to both sides of the story. And one side was more consistent with the truth than the other side. And then Eddie Hearn makes the video and he's talking about, look, if they're saying this and that, they don't know shit about the business of boxing. And it was just like, right there, Eddie, you just let all of us know that Brian Norman is right. He said, we knew we couldn't fight him anyway because my son was getting hand surgery or had hand surgery. And plus, we knew Karen put in his paperwork. So since they wanted to come at us like that, he actually said, we seen his bluff and we just called his bluff, knowing we wasn't going to fight it anyway. And then dudes was like, oh, he lying. He lying. Why Brian Norman Sr. out here lying, talking about they could have did this and the fight wasn't going to happen? No, it was about money, because then they want to move it to, he said that yes or no. Then they want to do the yes or no questions. Yes or no. I don't want to hear shit else but yes or no. Yes or no. Was Brian Norman offered X amount of money to fight in Philly, and he asked for $300,000 more because he was talking about some taxes shit? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Yeah. Did he make a request to say, let's do it in Vegas for that amount of money? Yes or no? According to those reports, yeah. So how do you mean he didn't duck the fight? How do you come up with he didn't duck the fight? And it's like, wait. But you're missing the part that Karan already put in his paper. I don't give a fuck. That shit don't mean nothing. The money was right there. Okay, but you can't fight, and a person can offer you $1 billion that's not going to change the difference that the fight can't happen because Quran already put in his paperwork. Then we got the report that it was a $20,000 difference of why the fight didn't happen. Because all the man needed to do was put in that extension, that 20,000. Why would he put in an extension knowing that this man ain't negotiating in good faith? I was like,
But that's what I say. This what I mean,
Oh,
AC. Like
shit.
this would tickle me, AC. This would tickle me. All of these part-time thorough ass niggas, right? They'll talk about they be on there reading all the rules. No, because I know about the sanctioning. They got sources, they know all about the belts. It's like, okay, you gotta dumb it down. You gotta dumb it down. Like that dude who conceded, like, slow it down. I just dissed you. You gotta say, listen. You gotta say, listen, bro. What belt did Jerome Boots Ennis have? He had the IBF, dummy. Okay, all right, okay. So when he come to the table, right? He coming to the table with the IBF belt. Yeah. Okay. So he's representing the IBF belt, right? Yeah. Okay, well, the IBF, they have rules. And if you're gonna represent their belt, you gotta go by their rules. Meaning that you can be out there talking about, I'll give you all the money under the sun. I'll give you all the money you can put in this bag or in the back of this truck for the next hour to fight me next. But if you don't clear that shit with the IBF, you will not be representing their belt. So what happened was Eddie and them didn't do what they needed to do for Bruce to be able to bring that belt into the ring and represent that belt, because Quran had already put in the paperwork. They didn't put the extra 20 grand to do the extension so that whatever they offered could have went through. They don't want to hear none of that because it's more convenient for the narrative to say that the Normans ducked.
Yeah. Now, if they would have put in that $20,000 extension, then you might have had a real argument.
Exactly, because then they would have put their money where their mouth was, but they didn't do that.
No, they did not. They just said, okay, we're not putting that $20,000 in, and guess what? We gonna use the power of the pulpit to shit on this young man because they know who Eddie Hearns is. I'm the guy who just represented Anthony Joshua. I'm the guy that's, Riyadh season. I came into the game, in this new era of boxing with $1 billion budget. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You feel what I'm saying? So it was like, oh. And then it's that weird thing that you hear comedians sometimes talk about. It's like, what happened to Americans? American hears someone with a British accent, you just be like, oh, he must be the smartest man in the world just because he's got a British accent. Mm-hmm. And I've even heard British comedians talk about it. Like, they're like, listen, I can go across the pond and go to university and talk to the Yanks and not know a bloody fucking thing. But the mere fact of I'm using this accent, they will think I'm totally brilliant. And it's like, yeah, that is a fucking fact.
That's a fact.
Look at car commercials. Car commercials now have the narrator in certain commercials has a British accent. Especially when it comes down to technology. And look at Geico. You feel what I'm saying? Look at how I think Hewlett Packard, I was watching the stock channel and I saw a Hewlett Packard commercial and they got a lady with the UK verse. At Hewlett Packard, we've streamlined our production and now we're more focused on developing new technologies in AI and other aspects. And I'm like, oh shit, even they went with the British AI accent. That's crazy. So Eddie come out here talking that shit in that UK accent. Americans like, yo, he got that accent. He gotta be right. He gotta be right. I don't care what nobody say. I believe that accent. And it's like, oh, okay, not the word, just the accent. You goddamn right. Like they talk real English over there. That real English. That's what they talk, so I gotta believe them. And I'm like, woo, yeah. We're in a weird space when it comes down to just content creators just across the board, and just content creators just with this boxing stuff, because the talking points and the D-Hive is in full effect these days. The Beehive is in full effect these days, and I just look at other fans of Devin Haney, and I'm like, okay, what is it that you guys see that I don't see as a fan of his?
They see BFTB, man. I'm telling you, that's what they see. That nigga, he creates, and I hate that I even had to talk on him, man. It's certain people. It's just like the Haney voice. It's like they put this shit out, and everybody listen because they're there. They on every corner like 7-Eleven. They there 3-5 times a day, just all day, every day. Because, like I said before, the subconscious does not give a fuck about whether or not it hears the truth. The subconscious resonates with what it hears the most. So when you hear a motherfucker saying something over and over, and because they're there and they got a nice little thumbnail and they got a new title and they done remixed or they done motherfucking plagiarized, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck they doing all day, every day. Because think about it. Think about this. When they had got a hold of the Normans, this is around the time when I did this video. They were still a part of the Norman clique, and he was mainly. They was doing this. They was doing this. All I gotta do is replace Keyshawn right here with Norman. This is exactly what they was doing. This is exactly what they was doing right here. This shit right here. And so soon as they got exposed, soon as he got caught up in a lie, ever since then, this man has not had a good word to say about the Normans since. That just tell you everything you need to know right there. Even when Senior goes on to the Haney voice, he be having their ass right there in check. He be stating nothing but facts. Ness will not even allow himself to agree with them. And it's right there. It's like it be right there in plain English and plain sight, nothing trivial. Straight facts. He won't even allow himself to agree with the man. I'm like, that's bullshit. It's like this on code for certain people. On code for certain people is just like, it's just like you won't steal, but you'll steal if it's for the greater good of the people that you're rocking with. So it's okay. So really, it's okay for you to steal, even though you tell your children don't steal. You know what I'm saying? You tell the young boys around the way, don't steal. You know, anybody is affiliated with, don't steal. But then for the greater good, you will steal. And that's what they do. They are on code for the people, for the sake of these people pushing forward. But what they got to realize is that whether or not you get out there online and speak about it and give your piece or promote it, these people had already chose to be in this profession anyway. They was going to rise by their bootstraps, and if they really had what it takes to succeed, they are going to succeed. It's nothing you can say or do to make them succeed more. But they want to be affiliated because it's content, because it's money. It's the same people that would want Deontay Wilder to go do a rematch with Zilly Zane. They don't give a fuck about Deontay. It's content. This is why I said the other day, it comes a point in time to where these boxers become more than just content for you. Like when you actually care about them and you really want the sport to go forward and you want to progress the sport forward, this becomes more than just content. Yeah. But for the sake of content and for the sake of your pockets, you will lie, you will hook, you will scream, you scheme, you will slander. You would say anything you need to make to skew the picture over here or to muddy the waters over there to make your guy look better, and then you'll change your spots to defend your guy for doing the very same thing that you despise. Like all of these guys out here, especially the big ones, they're doing it. That's what they do, like all day, every day. And I'm like, nah, bro. Like, aren't y'all tired of this, man? Just call what you see. Call what's happening.
No doubt. And I wanted to pick up on something that you brought up when you was talking about the subconscious. when I was taking psych, we did a whole paper, especially Psych 101. You talk about the conscious versus subconscious, the id, the ego, and stuff like that. The subconscious cannot be tricked. This is why someone who tries to hypnotize you, they can't make you do something that within your subconscious you'll never do. You feel what I'm saying? So if you're a guy who says, I'll never kiss another man, then you're hypnotized, and then the person tells you, to go kiss your best friend, your gay best friend, and you're like, if you had that tendency or it crossed your mind, you're gonna go kiss that dude. If it was hell no, you're not gonna do it. You'll wake up. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the subconscious cannot be tricked. What the subconscious can do, if you rationalize something to the subconscious can accept it because it's rationalized. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So you seek through bullshit talking points because you rationalize it, and you give other talking points that seem very, very close if you don't know the context of it. And you'll use these things because you know your audience. You play to your audience strengths, your audience weaknesses. So just by you did a show previously, like you say, I like to put stakes in the ground. And then you watch what people are in the comments saying. You feel what I'm saying? And you bring something up and then the comments kind of go blank. That kind of lets you know. They're like, who is that? What is that he's saying? So now they want you to go in depth. That as you go in depth, you're now enlightening your audience. Now, a person who wants to manipulate the audience will see, oh, they don't really know about that situation. So now I can hindsight that situation and then put other hindsighted examples to that. And now I've got a complete rational argument to the subconscious. And that's when you leak in. And that's when the conscious and the subconscious now have this cognitive dissonance. And you hear it in the fans because the fans are like, but I remember seeing something similar to that. But you're telling me this, so it kind of seems real, but I remember seeing something like that. And then they make these arguments to whereas you're noticing that you're going through a cognitive dissonance because you're talking two sides of the same fence and you keep contradicting yourself and bringing up this one point, but then won't stay 10 tones down on the guy you're actually big on and you're talking to me about. Yep. Do you realize that this person did this same thing that you're telling me is okay? And I remember you cooking on that and saying that person was fucked up for doing that. Yeah, but that's kind of different. Oh, that's your subconscious rationalizing your cognitive dissonance. Meanwhile, the conscious mind is like, I'm not quite sure, but the safest thing for me to say is, oh, that's different. And then it's like, so explain to me. No, it's basically, you man, you've been watching boxing long enough. You know that shit is different. And you like,
yeah, that's what they doing with Eddie. That's what they do with Eddie. That's what they doing with Boots right now because it's like it's like they are running across the same thing. And this is the same thing I used to get when the Haney fans and the Bud fans this is the same thing I used to get them with. I'm like, man, I say if you want to put a Haney fan in a pretzel, you got to start using you use the examples of Bud, and you do the same vice versa. And it's like it worked every time. It's like a switch they got to flip. So right now, it's just like what I was explaining earlier with the whole Bud and his affiliation with Bob, and now Boots and his affiliation with Eddie. And it's like the examples are there, and they use the examples. Like they used Andre. It's like, okay, if you want to use Andre, what happened with Andre? He was signed with Eddie. What did Eddie do? Did Eddie put him on the shelf? Did Eddie get him the big fights? Did Eddie not put him on a roller coaster and promise him all these things? Now he got paid. He had a European diet, but with the writing being on the wall and us having that example, and Boots having that example, it's just like what our ancestors. It's certain things that our ancestors did. It's certain things that your parents do. That if you pay attention and you acknowledge the knowledge gained from experience, from your ancestors or the people that's gone and went before you, if you bear witness to what they did, then unless you're a dummy and you living by the insanity doing the same thing over and over again expecting a different result, either you're insane or you'll learn from the people that went before you and you won't do that. So with a talent like Boo Boo, who had a whole song, Canelo, you want payday, you a horrible fighter, like malicious, like sound bites that people made a living for. People used to get cash apps and all that for with the Boo Boo, with Boo Boo running up on him and saying fight me and all this, and him saying you a horrible fighter. I know that, like you want payday. I know that, like all of that shit that Canelo was saying, that was Boo Boo over there under Eddie. So Boots see that. Boots has an opportunity to go to all the smoke. Well, all the 54 smoke is straight up over there. He could have went over there the same way Shakur could have went right over there to Tank and get all of that smoke, and he didn't do it, and he ran the match room. Boots did the same thing. Not only did he do the same thing, but when they trashed Bud for re-upping with Bob, Boots re-up with Eddie. And we getting the same thing. Eddie just lost a purse bid, and you try to tell me that the Normans ducked when Eddie lost a purse bid on that same fighter? Your critical thinking skills lack. But see, you get
the same fight.
In the same fight.
Yeah, same fighter, same fight, bro. It's
same fighter, same fight. He lost the purse bid. He had to pay extra money, and then Boots shoot himself in the foot by saying, "Hey man, And then in the next one, when it came to Stanyanas, he said, "Man, we gave Stanyanas extra money." Yep. So then people, if you wasn't just a part-time thorough ass nigga, if you was really a full-time thorough ass nigga who really want to get to the bottom, your brain would have said, "Hold on, mate.
It was 20,000. You paid that man a couple of $100,000 more, and all you had to do was $20,000 here, bruh."
Yep. Now, and the thing is, it does look like you were willing to pay somebody of the color of Imantis more than you was able to pay Brian Norman, and you based it on the fact that previously that would have been your highest payday. Well, the Normans blasted them on that and say, "Man, we went back and did the math. The man ain't never make more money than us." So in essence, you took money out of your pay to give to that man, then you wouldn't do that for us, but you did it for them and the fight went through. So it's cool because you was able to unify, but you wouldn't do it for us, and you made us look like we were pricing ourselves out. One, when the fight couldn't happen, but then you made it look like we were pricing ourselves out, but you wound up paying extra money to the other man anyway.
Yeah. Now,
so it don't make sense either way. But you're following the same path this fan base was shitting on Bud for his affiliation with Bob and re-signing with Bob. You'll have an affiliation with Eddie for doing the same thing, and you re-sign with Eddie. Yeah. And then the whole thing, this thing right here. This is coming to pass right now. Look, this is in real time. Cause they did this. Look, this is happening in real time. Man, it wasn't no two tune-ups. Well, what the fuck was that? Well, we just got it, and then you're gonna get this guy right here. You're gonna get the guy on the far right, and what they're gonna say that is for you? They're gonna say it's a tune-up. He got a title, but they're gonna say it's a tune-up, man. So it is. So in essence, it will have been two tune-ups.
Yeah, and that's why when you look at the writings on the wall, because when you look at the post press conference, everything every fighter Eddie was talking about as a possible opponent for Boots next was not a Riyadh, something that the Turk would be interested in. And then Eddie tried to take his little shot at the Turk, saying, I don't really appreciate it, we're not doing the TKO, and there's nothing wrong with boxing right now. I'm a professional, this is my job, blah 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 blah. So I was like, okay, what's that really about? You feel what I'm saying? But this is what I wanted to say when you was bringing up Demetrius Andrade. Again, we talk about these situations, right, where we expect when a fighter is signed, especially a black fighter is signed, and they had to stand up with Dev, the re-signing of AJ. You had Demetrius Andrade right there, and you were showing that these were your 3 or 4. I forgot the 4th fighter. 3 or 4 premier fighters that you recently signed to the zone and shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? At that particular point, I can remember, this was like the old YouTube stuff where, you didn't really see lives like that, where it was open panels. You would just comment took you on a different link. But I can remember being in the comments and debating dudes on, then if he's going to sign Demetrius at this point, will we get Demetrius Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders? Because I think that's the fight that he signs and puts 160 pounds on notice if he goes there and he gets that Billy Joe Saunders fight. And this was way before Billy Joe moved up to moved up to 68. I think this was around the time where he just came off the Gary Sullivan or no, not that far back. Not that far back. Let's it was somewhere between 2017 and 2018. You feel what I'm saying? And I think it was after the David Lemieux fight. And people were calling, all right, so we want to see Demetrius Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders at 160. And Eddie never made that fight. And I can remember Demetrius Andrade saying, listen, I'll fight Billy Joe. I could fight him at 60 or, I could even though he's just, and Billy Joe just right after that fight went up and fought some guy at damn near 100. He came in at 178. The other guy came in at 173. So it was for some UK bullshit. But at the end of the day, my point is simply this. I was highly disappointed in the zone, and I think this was the thing that just made me not fuck with him overall, with the fact that, okay, you never did the Bubble Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders. And I just thought that was an excellent fight, and everybody was expecting that fight, at least some of the diehard fans in the community. And that shit just never, ever happened. And then you bring it up to some dudes, it's like, no, because he got the Canelo fight. Yo, that Canelo fight was at least 5 fights away. That was his last fight. So if I'm correct in my timing, going down in 2017, you feel what I'm saying? Early 2018, then listen, he got 1, 2, 3, it was 4 fights away at best when he fought Canelo. So miss me on, he was looking to fight Canelo. That nigga got the fuck up out of 160 because I think he was more afraid, or Eddie was like, look, I don't want to put you in there with this guy, Andrade. Just like he openly said he don't want to put, Conor Ben in there with Boots.
Yeah. And he pop hot. Like, it's a cycle, man. And see, he pop hot and he still got the Canelo fight. He pop hot. He pop hot ahead of that Demetrius Andrade around that time. He pop hot for that. Yeah. And he still got just like Conor Ben, he pop hot. like it's a cycle, man. It's a pattern, man. These guys, they rehearse old victories, a way that they was able to actually get by, man. And that's why I say you can't become the fan that you despise, because it's like, you know them so well, you know them patterns, but when it comes to your guy, it's almost like pride. Like when you have it, it's like they say you can't recognize it when it's you. So when it's your guy and when you're pulling for it, you can't see it, but you can see it in the other fan base. You can see it in all the examples that you give. It's like, no, that's part of gaslighting, because you know it when it's your guy. It's just that for the sake of your channel and for the sake of you being down, for the sake of you being on code, you don't see it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just the sad part of when you become not the fan, but you become the parent word of fan, the phonetic. When you become the phonetic, then reasoning, logic, constructive criticism, just a conscious effort to be like, look, I didn't go to school for journalism, but I got a certain feel that if I'm gonna come out here, I don't want people to call me out and say I'm a liar or I'm pushing the narrative. So I want to be as close to uh, having an objective truth than anything else. Because if I'm dealing uh, in that objective truth, okay, you can't debate it because every bit of evidence goes back to say, listen, this is what it is. You can call it a fact, you can call it this, but it still is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you become that phonetic, all of that is out the window, and then you start pandering. And once you start pandering, you've lost all your journalistic integrity. So then you become the thing that you started your channel with this immediate intention. In some cases, these guys just was like, look, I look at this big guy's channel and I know he's pandering the shit out of his people, so I'm going to do the same thing. You know, and then you become these big, you know, pandering channels. You know, and for me, I think the last time we was chopping it up, when I got off the live with you, I was sitting there, and the word pander came to my head, and then the song Panda came to my head, and it's like pander, 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 pander. On these YouTube streets, I'm a pander. When I'm at home, I'm a pander. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just like, oh my God. Wow, Mike, you stupid, man. Stop that. And I was laughing so hard. My lady was like, what's the matter? I was like, look, you know me. I just start thinking about some stupid shit, and it just starts tickling me and stuff like that. And being that we got here, it allowed me to relive that memory. And, if I was a dude who could rhyme just a little bit, I would actually just take that beat and just get at channel on some funny comical shit of dudes who I feel who pander. You feel what I'm saying? But no,
Yeah.
he's a pander. He's a pander. Pander. I was like, yo, you stupid as hell, bro. Let that shit go.
Bro, it's just been wild here lately, man. This the last one I'm gonna give you, man. I heard somebody today, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm listening to right now. I was riding around just like I'm about to stop listening because I tune into some people sometimes just to see if they change or whatever. Or I listen and I'll just eat the fish and spit out the bones. But like today, they like when I say becoming the fan base that you despise, I literally heard somebody use this example. They said, name somebody on Bud's resume that Boots can't beat.
Oh, I've heard that argument. Yeah.
I said, oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm like, it's crazy to me because they call themselves cooking people for using that same logic when the shoe was on the other foot. I heard somebody use that today too. I'm gonna put the shoe on the other foot. I'm like, yeah, oh my whole thing, like when the shoe is when the boot is on the other foot, like, but anyways, it's just odd to me that like it's like right in front of your eyes. It's like people don't know what direction I think they just get so infatuated with wanting to just talk boxing that they just can't they can't create, they can't be original. Yeah. They can't really like just just make something up and make it go. They either have to be reactive or they have to use the same just like what we do in this country. Whereas a lot of the time, like more than likely, I'll use Diddy. More than likely, a lot of the things that he did in the industry resulted from what was done to them. Like that skit that the Locks had, the Grape and You records. Remember Grape and You records? Like it was like they was making a skit about, you know, no sun jet. Like you know, he said, yeah, sun jet, and then he was like, man, what you was bobbing? You don't want the kid, the crazy kid, and so they was always talking about what they was doing, the artists that they had signed to them, and they was mocking the fact that that's what Diddy had them doing. Like when Diddy had them in the shiny suits and doing stuff, it's like when the Locks, like you would have never seen the Locks, knowing the kind of people they are, knowing that he had Jadakiss, Styles, and Sheik Luch in some Missy Elliott puffy shiny ass suits dancing. You talk about the Locks, and they wasn't getting the bread that they deserve. But then they do a skit about Grape and You records and what they were doing. So just like in that scheme where, because these labels be graping these artists, they blow up enough and they have their own labels and then they grape their artists. It's the same thing that goes on in this boxing talk. It's like, because that argument is used against you and people mentally beat you up because you sit there and you entertain it and you go for it. It's like you turn around and then you do the same thing, because we always have this habit of doing to others what have already been doing to us. Like it's like we'll do it in a variant type way, but we have a habit of actually doing it instead of breaking the cycle, instead of saying, hey, listen, man, I know that's how they got me, or I know this is how the employer treated me, but when I become an employer, I'm never going to treat my employees like that. It's like, nope, it was done to me, so I'm gonna do it to them. And that's what's happening in boxing talk.
Yeah,
you get into a debate and somebody do this mindfuckery gaslight, and it's like you be like, nah, and then you walk away like, man, you know they be lying, man, you know he was tripping, you know, and then you find yourself in the conversation using the exact same example. It drives me nuts, especially since I have I have a photographic memory, you know what I'm saying? But like when it comes to recognizing patterns and hearing conversations and all that, it sticks out. It's like a bump in the fabric. It's like, you know, like dirt under a rug. I cannot help but focus on it because it's an inconsistency. So it sticks out. Like it's abrasive to me. I recognize it instantly. So when I see and hear people doing it, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You the same one? And I recognize it in real time.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm seeing now. It's like, you know, don't become the fan that you despise. Do not be using the same examples that like irks the shit out of you. You turn around and doing it. Don't be a hypocrite. And that's what I'm seeing, a lot of hypocrisy right now online, man.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is when we talk about things, right? We're coming with a genuine perspective, whether it pans out to be right or wrong, whether you right on the nose or not. But that's the intent, to be as informative as possible. When you lose that, how do I say it? That will to be the guy that's, you know what, I'm not going out here, I'm not gonna say I'm cooking this fighter and stuff like that. If I'm gonna cook a fighter, I'm gonna cook him on something legitimate, not a narrative or a certain talking point. I'm going to give you from me my perspective of the type of fan I was for this guy and why I'm choosing to cook him now. So I've been looking at his fights, I do point from time to time, criticize maybe a move that he does, but right now he's reached this person has reached the tipping point. And when you reach that tipping point, now I still want to do my best to respect you in the ring, but the things you do before you get in the ring, your negotiation tactics, you're attaching yourself to somebody that you don't need to attach yourself to. Run your own fucking race. You know, so when you're a fan that's asking for things of that nature, and you're a fan that's saying to yourself, okay, I'm willing to show grace and possibly back off a little bit if X, Y, and Z are met at the bare minimum. And then you can't even get the shit that you're asking for at the bare minimum. It's like, okay, then what do you want me to do as a fan of yours? Because I as a fan, I've witnessed myself move the goalpost on you a couple of times, although I didn't speak on it too much, but I actually did witness that. So that's not something I'm willing to do anymore as a fan of yours. And I would appreciate, you know, the conversation to be more in tune of just if we all feel that this move was a shitty move, then you give your take, I give my take, everybody gives their take, and we all as content creators are maybe not on the same page, but in the same book, you know, in the same library, maybe on the same shelf, but we have this general consensus of that.
Right.
At the very least. It's like I can't even turn on this shit and actually see that. Because I'm like, okay, what book are you reading from? Because the book that I thought you was reading from, I'm skimming through and I can't find what page you're on, and I've been putting up my hand for the last 20 minutes to be like, excuse me, are we reading this book? And if not, what book are we reading and what page are we on? And then because I'm asking that question or challenging you to what you're saying, then it's, oh, you don't know shit about boxing. Oh, you just a hater.
Yeah, you just a hate. Yeah, it's just that's all you do is just hate, man. I don't see why is he getting that? Why you think he get this much flack? And why you? It's like, man, come on, man.
Exactly. So for me, I just learned these days to just kind of like laugh at many of these people, because that's the best thing I can do to keep my own sanity. Because other than that, you know, it would almost be like a daily crash out of arguing with somebody online, because they're just egregiously saying the most hideous and stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I don't know, bro. We, you know, it's just a certain, like, honestly, there was a dude I was rocking with from Canada, right? It was after the Mbili fight. You know, I get your hometown bias and everything. You feel what I'm saying? But I noticed when I said, you know, Mbili style, the only thing that concerns me about Mbili stylistically, will he turn out to be like a glorified gatekeeper? And the next dude that jumped up from Canada, you feel what I'm saying? I guess it was another channel from Canada. And the other dude, he wasn't from Canada, but I've been on your joint where you had 6 people before, and you told me you're going to put me in the back so this other dude can come up and talk. And then I stayed and listened for a second to see what this other dude had to say, and it just turned into a Mbili Glade fest. And I was like, yeah, I see what's going on here. Thanks for showing me who you are, because I unsubbed your channel and I, you know, hit the please do not recommend this channel?
Yeah, my man Koki. I think the last I remember I think the last time I think he wasn't happy with me saying that I don't like the path that Sabril is on at this point because he's starting to get hit in the head too much, especially after that Puyo fight and the fact that I thought that Puyo won. He ain't been around, but I've seen him, and I'm like, he one of them like Aaron Jones, like Koki, like almost like one of my day ones. He ain't been around. I'm like, and you know me, you know the wars, like you know the wars I done put up. You know, like I always keep it a buck, even to the detriment of not gaining subscribers. I think I went through a period one time a week where I think I lost like people was unsubbing like I cursed their moms out. Like I lost like 15 subs after a couple of videos. I was like, well, I guess that's what was needed. You know what I'm saying? But like I tell the truth sometimes to my own detriment. But I do that because like I always have content because all I gotta do is look at what's going on and do a video about the truth and my perspective on it. You know, and that's it. But like he's been there. I'm like, he one of the last ones I thought would ever be offended. Why? Because I said I didn't like the way Sabril's fighting now, and I want him to be able to go with his family, and I didn't agree with the decision. Really? After all of the videos, after all of the stuff, like you've been around when you seen people biting my shit, stealing, plagiarizing, getting up doing video. They still doing it, getting up doing my same shit 2-3 days later, like the same our conversations. You've been here, but I see you over there. You know, so I you know, it's just like that, man. It's like that, and it's weird. Like, and you would never think people like that would do that, but they out here. Yeah, they'll flip on you and turn it out. And I haven't said anything as nearly as egregious as a lot of these people out here.
Yeah, that's an absolute fact. It's just like, you know, accept people's opinions. Accept people's opinions. They have their truths, and they have their opinions. Certain things, even though you don't like it, it's still an objective truth to the fact that you can, if you're a true fan of this person, you can't say, no, you're wrong. You could try to argue context. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, in certain situation, arguing context will only put you in a deeper hole because then there's multiple examples. So, you know, even if you disagree with the person, even if you like, that this particular move by Bud Crawford, I really don't see it like that. But I get it to whereas at that particular point, the perception of what you was doing was actually this. So I can give you that. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, at that particular moment in time, you are absolutely right. He should have never opened his mouth. He should have never said this. Because then you turn around when the fight is actually happening, then you're telling everybody this thing couldn't have happened without this guy's express consent. If he didn't want to do it, it wasn't going to happen. So you just kind of like let those fans of yours know that, you know, this man was never scared of me. I don't understand how y'all even came to that thing that he was scared of me. He's not scared of me. It's timing and sometimes the business of boxing. And in fact, it's some of the stupid shit that I did that kind of maybe fucked that up or slowed it down or put it in a weird place. But now that we here and we doing it and we about to get it on, I got to give this man all the props in the world because none of this shit would be happening behind him. But then when the fight's over, you get that sector of fan that still wants to talk shit and degrade Errol Spence. It's like, okay, the fight is over. He lost to this guy. Look at how that loss is aging. Okay,
Yeah,
it may not have aged well with the Madrimov, but then he goes up and he does what he does with Canelo. The first fighter, you know, that Canelo faced that he brought up, the guy who came up from 2 divisions and beat him like that. So then that Errol Spence loss to Terence Crawford actually makes a hell of a lot of sense now. So you can't take away from him. That man still fought his heart out against that level of talent. Get the fuck out of here, man.
And look,
Shut up.
it's
I don't want to
still-
hear
it's
that
still-
bullshit.
Look, it's still people that say that's calling them easy route Spence. I'm like, well, how the fuck you? How is you gonna say? How are you knocking him and laughing at him saying easy route when he went and got 3 of the straps? What was easy about that?
Yeah.
But it's that's like that virtual signaling, or that's, hey, we still a clan in that sense. So I that still irritated me. But then I find myself like how I am today with this Boots and Bud stuff and seeing it for what it is. And I wasn't always the one saying that I rock with all the Buds move the way he moved. But at this stage, in this juncture, given what he's done and where he's at, I gotta call out the bullshit on what the Boots and them is doing. Like, it's just, and that's just how it is. Like, at this point in time, this is the truth and this is the angle. Like, and this is what's going on. And I'm gonna speak to it in the way that it needs to be spoken to.
Yeah.
That's why it was kind of weird today to have to do this. But it's like it's getting ridiculous,
And for me, the whole Bud Buddy fallout, if that even sounds cool coming from a grown ass man, but that whole fallout, it was like, okay, the fight happened. I'm still a fan of both of the guys. You feel what I'm saying? I'm still that big of a fan of Errol Spence that I want to see him come back. I'm off that whole situation to whereas every year you guys gotta have like, oh, it's an anniversary. Bro, motherfuckers didn't even do that type of shit when Ali went over to Africa. There was no anniversary of that victory. There was no anniversary of any of Muhammad Ali's victories, nor George Foreman, nor anybody's victory in boxing. You guys are making this into something weird, and that weird thing I do not want to be a part of. I can't be a part of it because I can't surrender myself to that type of mindset. I love my individuality. You feel me? This is why, this is why I can go on someone's channel and not 100% agree with everything you said, but I can put up a decent argument, a plausible, decent argument that says, you know what? As a Devin Haney fan, I can respect your perspective. As a Bud fan, I can respect your perspective. You feel what I'm saying? And dudes is like, nah, AC is pretty much straight down the middle. He understands if I'm saying no in this situation, this nigga was dead wrong. He's not one of them gritty Bud fans that's gonna come up here and say, well, no, not really. See, y'all just hating and y'all don't understand what this is and what that is. And it's like, no, I can understand it. I can understand where you're coming from, because if I just put myself in the position of this particular fighter I don't like, I made that same talking point you're talking about when it came down to this particular situation with this fighter. So why would I not keep the same energy if I'm shitting on this guy over here about that same fucking talking point? About that same talking point. And there's 2 fighters that I can mention right off the bat that I use some of those same talking points. Nicole Stevenson and Jerron Ennis. But yet I'm going to give Terence Crawford a pass? Off of the same exact situation? I can't. But that doesn't mean I'll turn right around in the minute I'm in a situation where I can praise him for something. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm not
Right.
gonna be the goofy dude that turn around and say, nah, you got it wrong. And then dudes be like, well, AC, I just heard you say this shit about Boots, and I heard you say this shit about fucking Shakur. So how can you not feel that way about this? Well, because that's different. Oh my God. You feel what I'm saying? No, I don't want to be that dude. I don't think I can be that dude. I don't think the size pants, shoes, or jacket, or even underwear that nigga wear can actually fit me. So I don't dress like that, bro. I don't shop where he shops. I don't do none of that. So the way I come with it, I'm rocking with you because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that's where we'll be with that. And if something else comes along after that, then cool. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm the type of fan that's like, do I really condone a lot of things that a lot of the negative talk about Devin Haney? No, I don't condone it, but I cannot say it's not true. And that's where it begins and that's where it ends. Is what he's saying, even though I don't like none of the shit he's saying, is it true or is it not? And even if I add context to it, is it true or is it not? Yeah, it's still true. No matter how much context you add to it, it actually makes it worse. So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. This is why when you speak those objective truths about Devin Haney, I cannot be like, nah, body, hold on. Nah, body, hold on, nah, body. We gotta talk about that one. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. You feel what I'm saying? When there are those objective truths you talk about Terrence Crawford, in real time I felt that way. And I had to suck that in because I knew if I bring that argument to this village, these dudes gonna try to run me out of the village. And I'm trying to squat there for right now. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? But I know I can't bring that there to you guys, so it's just like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree with that. What you mean? No, it's not even important, but all I'm saying is you feel what I'm saying? And I'll mask it and cover it up like that. But at the end of the day, I knew what village I was fucking around in and shit like that.
Yeah, and a lot of people can't do it. It's like, and just the last thing I'm gonna say, I see that with the Earl thing, right? I think the longer it takes for him to come back, it kind of adds to the glory of Bud. And so it's like they can take solace in that, and the fact that, oh, look at him, man, they just even go to show even how bad, like, look how long it took for him to come back, and they hoping that he ain't gonna be the same. And he might not be the same, but that's the thing that they celebrate. And I'm like, it's kind of bad in the grand scheme of things, because there's a lot of stuff that came along with that, like in the fact that just because of the victory, they still run with certain things about that man that just not true. And it's like, dang, man, but that's the thing that got the man lit. That victory is what put him in the limelight to even get to where he's at now. Like, that was a stepping stone. That was a pivotal step in his journey for y'all to shit on that dude like that. Like, and continually. And that's not the kind of fan I am, you know what I'm saying? That's like, hey, I seen you did that damage. I don't agree with everything that Earl, did, even with the Derrick James and, some of the out of the ring stuff. But at the same time, give that man some respect, man.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that man's name, but I could look at it objectively. Like, that's even why, like, for me to take up for Bud, or for me to actually witness like what it is now, that's just how it is, bro. Like, it's just weird. Like, it's like, move on, grow up, like, and let's Let's not become the fans that we despise.
Yeah, because we will be fans. We were boxing fans before Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, and a lot of other guys, and we will be fans after these guys. See, being a fan of boxing has a much longer life than actually being a fighter. Like when you look at it, your fight is pretty much going to have about maybe 10, maybe 15 or 18 solid years. His first 8 years, he might be fighting nothing but tomato cans and padding up his professional jump off and whatever, depending on how fast they moving. And then the final 10 years, this is when he's got a belt and he's doing everything that he or she is supposed to be doing in the ring, trying to create the legacy fights and becoming undisputed and doing everything else to make them a legendary fighter. So, it may be shorter than that with some other guys, depending on how they're moved and things like that. But overall, I've seen boxing all the way back from Muhammad Ali. The very first fight I ever went to in my life was to watch Muhammad Ali box this actor dude who wound up playing Bigfoot, and Muhammad Ali was playing with the dude, and the dude dropped him. White guy with this bushy beard, Tex something. You feel what I'm saying? And when my father took me to that particular fight, and then when the fight was over that weekend, we went to go see the opening of Star Wars and everything else. While I'm watching Star Wars, I was still thinking about that Muhammad Ali fight. And to me, going to that fight made me not really want to deal with football, basketball, or anything like that. I was just like, I only want to watch boxing. I'll watch the basketball games, I'll watch the football games because family come over and stuff like that. You have Super Bowl parties, playoff parties, and shit like that. My family was any reason to have a get together with food and liquor. My family was gonna find a reason. You feel what I'm saying? So that was pretty much what it was. But we were definitely a boxing household, and me seeing generations from Ali, and then watching the Tyson era, then the Floyd Mayweather era, the De La Hoya era, then the Floyd Mayweather era, then looking at in between all of that, I'm like, all right, Floyd, you good, but this dude over here, James Toney, oh my God, and then this other dude, Roy Jones, oh my God. You feel what I'm saying? So I watched them dudes. I watched all of these legends and Hall of Famers of boxing: Marvin Hagler, John the Beast Mugabe, Roberto Duran, Vinny Panzio, just so many fighters that I can't even remember all of their names. And this is why people are like, so why it seem like you turning on Terrence Crawford? Because it's the end of his career now, and now we can start to talk honestly about the dude. Yeah, this particular thing you did, bud, was fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? But is it that type of thing that says your whole career is shitty now because you did this? No. You beat two of the three faces of boxing. Yeah. Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. Fuck what these goofy ass niggas say. Errol Spence was the face of boxing, bro. He was, when Errol Spence speak, motherfuckers listen. You feel me? So he can't fight Tank. Tank is just at a weight class he can't reach. And Bud is at a weight class I don't think Tank can reach effectively. So the point is this. He beat two of these guys. He beat the two faces of boxing in one career. I retired and then came back. He did it in one career, one setting. So at the end of the day, regardless of how you felt on how he moved, you got to give him that respect. And if you still hate him, but you respect him for that, okay, cool. I ain't got no issues with you. I don't think I'll have an issue with you even if you don't want to respect him for that. I'll just look at you and be like, I I don't know how you land your plane right there, but as a fan, you're entitled to how you feel. I definitely don't feel like that. I give him his props. Right now, he's going down in history as the most decorated, fighter. So I'll give him those props. I won't say he's, the best fighter that ever laced up the glove, going back to the beginning of boxing and stuff like that. I might make the argument that he's in the top 100, maybe top 50, and that's still an accomplishment when you talk about all the fucking boxers out there of each generation. To make it to the top 100, as a chef, we have something called the top 100, but people tend to focus on the 50 world's best. But the award is really the top 100. So at the end of the day, you make the top 100 or top 50 of anything, you are a fucking GOAT. And that's where I leave it, bro.
Good points, bro. As always, man, you always contribute, man. You always contribute, man. It's always boxing minds, man. Always boxing minds, man. Always a good cook, man. I appreciate you contributing, man. And we'll be back later on this week with something.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely for sure. I'll probably text you because it was something that I saw and I was like, I think that might be a good cook, but I want to confirm whether that thing is really going to happen or is it really real. You feel what I'm saying? So we'll definitely chop it up.
All right, man. Enjoy your rest of your night, then.
Yeah, you too, bro.
All right, bro. Peace. Yeah, man. Good cook, man. Good straight up boxing dialogue, man. That's how you be a fan, man. You gotta roll with it. That's what I meant to say, man. We need, you're not on your phones. You get an update where you gotta do a software update and it keep reminding you. Like, this is a boxing dialogue software update. Whereas as new information unfold and things happen, you have to update your perspective and your conversation. You know what I'm saying? And some of us to work out the bugs. Some people need to update their boxing conversations. Update your boxing conversation software. You know what I'm saying? And stop plagiarizing, y'all. Get your own shit. Do your own thing. Stop gaslighting, man. And don't become the fan that you despise. We're seeing that the WBA officially ordered Rolly versus Shakram Giyasov. You know, that was Boots mandatory, so it's looking like Rolly gonna have to handle that. And it'll be a good look. Cause the dude Giyasov was saying he really wanted a title shot. He's been waiting on a title shot. I understand Giannis should have gave him one, but he stepped aside, you know, and let that Boots thing go down. And now it fell into Rolly's lap. So we're gonna see what Rolly do with it. And I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that. But Bakhram is a boogeyman until proven otherwise, man. I'm not putting extra on it. I'm just saying it's got to be something as to why people are not stepping into the ring with this man. And they making every reason not to step in the ring with this man. And these guys are on some legacy stuff, man. This is some Predator type shit right here, man. And just think, man, who would have thought that the 160 division with these guys right here is probably the closest division to becoming the next undisputed division? Ain't that something? So we got to see if Father Time going to finally catch up to Erislandy Lara. If Janibek really going to, like, you know what I'm saying, go over the top, Sylvester Stallone style with the hat to the back, you know what I'm saying, and take that strap off of Lara and then close it out with Adamas. That's right where Boots was at. Boots had 2 straps. He could have got it on with Norman. And had he pulled that off, he would have had Mario Barrios, you know what I'm saying, in the corner. But he moved up. And now our expectations of him ain't the same. Well, mine are, you know, but update your boxing conversation, man. This is Fruits and Veggies, not that Reggie, that fact-based content. Silence is consent is the channel. So all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to those things. If somebody's out there plagiarizing, using other people's talking points, call them out on that bullshit, man. I mean, ain't got time for that, man. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Anyways, hope you was able to gain something from this conversation that we had today. Put something in your rucksack and march on with, man. Until the next time. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.